Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Spawncast episode 409. What a week. A lot of stuff happening. What's up? What's up, OJ? What did I do?
What the hell is MVG doing?
What? That's not MVG. That's N64 over GameCube.
He's speaking truth to power.
He's just mad because everyone was 10 times more hype about GameCube than N64. Mind you, let me remind you about your reaction to the expansion pass, MVG. You remember what you said?
Yeah, it's just a bunch of value.
I did say.
Excited were you, buddy?
I mean, I did say that the GameCube has a couple of good games on it. So
let's go back to when the N64 was announced for the Switch. What'd you have to say?
MVG has been a big proponent of Soul Calibur 2. He's been talking it up for a long time. So it's hard to not give it the credit when it pops up, and it looks good.
Soul Calibur 2, pretty good game.
I like F-Zero too. Good game.
Oh, yeah.
GX. Very good game.
Yeah, with multiplayer. Hey, that should be good. But yes, MVG is making his return to the podcast.
Good to be back, MVG even though I'm getting badgered and harassed and slandered in the first minute of the show.
Just like old times.
You're slandering. You started it.
We'll make Celia HR. You contact her. put in a request. How you doing, Celia?
I'm doing great, but my HR response would be, yeah, MVG has a point. I'm like on the Banjo Tooie train right now. Man. I'm rebeating the game right now. So yeah, MVG has a point.
So, I was about to compliment your shirt, but I'm no longer going to do that. I'm no longer going to compliment it and say
I retract that compliment.
I'm just going to leave it. I was going to compliment. I was going to say that was a nice shirt, but no, I'm good.
I said she was dressed. She was dressed way better than everyone else on the podcast.
Yeah, I offered to change, like literally. I had other things to do today. But I can go put on a sweater. Like
I could go grab my sport coat.
I know, right? Or yeah, everyone get fancy bow ties, chop.
It's like 80 something degrees where I'm at. I know
it's really hot outside.
It's hot.
It's like what is it? 40 something here, Evan. What are we? 42 degrees here.
Shorts weather.
Eskimos, man.
Shorts weather.
No, it was like I've never upgraded to pants. I've been shorts this whole time.
It was like last week it was like 78. This week it's 42. It's just constantly bouncing. It was cold enough to almost snow the other day in April.
I don't do snow, man. I'm good.
Absolutely ridiculous.
Same.
Absolutely ridiculous.
I just die. That's what
I did it for years. Never doing it again.
So, are you in the East Coast, Celia, or are you in the West Coast?
I'm West Coast. I'm SoCal with you.
Oh, yeah. I didn't know you're SoCal. Yo,
yeah, that's why I was like, Shovel Knight concert, LA, you local. See you there.
I didn't know you were SoCal, though. Let's go.
Wait, how did you didn't connect the dots? Okay.
Nope.
I use the word like every other word. Of course, I'm
we got to chill sometimes. We got to chill sometimes, Celia. Now that I know
definitely.
SoCal, for sure.
How'd the pre-show go, OJ? How we doing?
Good. Hella people there, so it was great. Shout outs to everybody that came through. So yeah, it was a good show.
Good stuff.
If you guys want to stop by before this show, I run the pre-show and we talk about all sorts of stuff, and it's really fun. So yeah, shout outs to John for letting me do that.
Yep, you can go over there, hang out. Usually a couple hours, right, ahead of the show. So
yeah, about an hour or so. Yeah, sometimes an hour and a half or so. Yeah, before.
Okay, good stuff. And then we of course have Evan.
Yep.
Good to have Evan here. He's going to give us his take on marathons. That'll be fun. As I don't even know what game you said earlier, but it sounded like the Evan game. That should give us a good indication as to where you are in marathon. You can tell us about that when we get to it. Everyone here, of course, on the panel is linked down below in the description. Check them out. Go over to their channel, or Celia with 3 E's. Go check out her Twitter X account and say hi. But tonight we do have some fun stuff to go over. Just the Switch 2 stuff in general. I didn't even really pick out one major topic for it because it's just like mayhem this week. Constant Switch 2 stuff. I just threw that in there as something we can kind of go over in general since MVG, you weren't here last week. You throw some of your takes out there, and Celia as well. Just get some of the takes there. And also, of course, Marathon. We got the Mario Kart Direct coming up. I am curious if there is anything possible they can do to try to turn the tide with the $80 price tag out there. Of course. And we have an Xbox showcase that happening in June. So a lot of stuff actually going on here. I did want to recognize one thing though, because I did try it, but there is a new best rated game of the year. And I did not expect it. It was not on my radar. I did not see it. Well, I shouldn't say it wasn't on my radar because we heard that it was going to PlayStation Plus and Game Pass a few weeks ago. They had told us that. And I saw it, I was like, okay, sure, that's fine. And now it's out, and it is currently rated, I believe, on Metacritic with a 93. And that is Blueprints. 93. Okay, it has more reviews now, too. 36, 7, 40, okay, 48 reviews. 48 reviews at a 93. So it was the best rated game of the year so far. So, I don't know if anyone else tried playing it.
I haven't played it yet, but I bought it, and I'm very excited about this game. But I'm currently playing Banjo-Tooie, so that takes priority of my growing backlog of games. But I'm so excited about this. I think when I was live reacting with the Discord of like when we were watching the showcase, I like was really excited about this game. I love puzzles. I love mystery. It's giving me 999 vibes without being like a carbon copy, because obviously the gameplay style is a bit different. But I just love figuring shit out. And this is my type of game. It's really cool. Go support the studio. It's really awesome. Okay, that's my 2 cents. And I think there's a discount right now on Steam. I can double check that, but I think there is. So go play it.
Watched a lot of gameplay for it the past couple of days. It seems decent enough. I don't know about the replayability though, because I mean, if you're going through the same rooms and maybe they just slightly adjust the puzzles, but like it's a puzzle game with story, so seems fine.
Not every game needs to be something you replay over and over and over.
The trick is it's a roguelike, and you're not going to get the whole story supposedly on one pass. Yes. So if you go through the billiard room 4 times, is it going to feel as good the 4th time? That's kind of what I'm hoping is achieved with this. So that could be kind of cool.
I actually want to check this one out. It looks interesting enough for me to probably buy and play. So I'm going to take a look at it. Kind of got my attention. So yeah, looks good. I like the art style too. It looks really good, really good.
They threw it in I downloaded it on PlayStation Plus because they threw it in the service. I was like, I'm gonna download this thing. Does not look like a game that I would really play that much. It's a puzzle roguelike, and there's no combat in it at all. Nothing. So it's kind of go from room to room apparently. And I fired it up. I was like, I'll take a look. And I'm 7 hours into it now.
So you like it?
So I've played it. It should not click for me. This should not be a game that I'd be playing. I've never played anything like this before, actually. I think that's what might be what it is. But yeah, I like it a lot more than I thought I would. And the idea is you're going to this mansion, and it is a mystery, as you say, Celia. So you don't really know necessarily what is going on here, but every time you enter a room, it starts you out, it's a grid. And every time you go into a room and you open a door, it has you then it rolls basically RNG in the background. It then gives you 3 floor plans, different named rooms, and then when you pick it, you can try to navigate through this grid. So it's just by squares, but each room is very, very different, and it tries to kind of piece together a story as you're going. But if you either run out of steps, which is like your energy, or you just dead end, there's nowhere else to go, you don't have any doors left to go through, then you call it a day, as they say, and everything resets almost like Groundhog Day, that roguelike setup. And basically the only thing you really gain, I guess, is knowledge, but also there are some permanent things. Like I unlock the gate on one side and I can go back to the tool shed, and it lets me craft kind of a room that's an advantage just for your entire run. So this is a very different kind of game, but it's strangely addictive. So I will be playing it and I will be beating it. I've actually got pretty close to, there's like a chamber you're trying to get to.
Whoa. Spoilers.
Yeah, hold on here.
I feel like you're ruining the whole game for us, John.
No, when you first go in,
the ending also.
And there's a chamber. There's a chamber you go to. Like it shows you. It's like you're trying to get here.
Spoiler chamber.
You start here.
Spoiler chamber.
Chamber of spoilers.
The chamber of spoilers.
So you're trying to get to it, and I haven't gotten into the chamber yet, but I've come close.
Now I know that I'm not going to get close.
Does Dumbledore also die?
Yes. It's kind of a relaxing game too. So it's kind of a quiet, chill game. You're kind of just hanging out in like the silence almost. It's very small, like background music, hum stuff going on. But it's pretty cool.
Of an empty house.
Did you say it was on PS Plus?
It is PlayStation Plus. Yep.
Oh.
I just downloaded it on there.
Okay.
Trophies are terrible though. Really bad. It is. I have not unlocked a trophy at all. Not one. There's 14 of them, and I think I could.
So are they bad, or are they bad, or are they just difficult?
Oh, one of them has a typo.
Oh, nice.
I saw it immediately.
Until you find out that that's the answer to a puzzle coming up, and then you're like, ah, crap.
Yeah.
Oh, that might be it. But maybe it's telling you who gives a crap. Just play the game.
It is on Game Pass as well, yes. So it's on both. It's on either Game Pass or it's on PlayStation Plus. And this is a game that I think will benefit from that. Definitely. Obviously, the reviews got it on people's radar, but it being more accessible there for people already the service that wouldn't try it. Like, I probably wouldn't have bought this game, but I downloaded it there and it's exceeded my expectations. So I recommend it. Just try it out. Give it a shot. If you have it on PlayStation Plus or Game Pass, why not? See what you think. Interesting though, this 93. I'm curious just because it has enough reviews to qualify for a lot of places. If it'll be like that Balatro or that Celeste kind of game that just finds its way in at the end of the year. So I will keep an eye on that. But yes, recommend it. Definitely worth checking out.
I mean, Silksong 2 is supposed to be coming. So yeah,
what is
that? Silksong.
Yeah, that's true. You're right. You're right.
We all know
right.
Game Awards has that like short memory span. So
yes. I don't even know who made this game. Do you know who made the game, Celia?
No, I actually don't. I was going to bring up another indie game. Wait, hold on. Raw Fury published it. Let me look up who.
What developers for Blueberries?
Dogu Bomb. Yeah. Dogu Bomb developed it, and Raw Fury published it.
No idea. Okay, well there you go. If that's it, I don't know if that's a debut indie game for them for something, but if it is, good.
I would love to see it there.
They put out. Yeah.
Side note, can I bring up another indie game that released this past week? Okay, Promise Mascot Agency was also in the same showcase, and I was I think it was the same showcase, or I'm misremembering. But that game looks really, really fun. I do know nothing about it, but the art style looks really cool, and I watched their trailer and it looked awesome. So pick that up, and I'm still playing Banjo-Tooie. So eventually I will get to these two games, but I'm just building my backlog for no reason.
People are going crazy in the chat for Marathon right now.
So
I guess because it just happened.
This is that company's first game. They've been doing movies and video until now.
Oh, interesting.
They've done stuff for Netflix, NBC, Universal. I guess they did a Snickers commercial. I don't know.
Experience.
Yeah.
Filling out the resume. Interesting. Yeah, so I would recommend it. Go check it out. Celia and MVG, if you guys get a chance to play it, I'll be curious to see what your thoughts are, because I had no expectations going into it, and I can't believe I'm like,
I will check it out for sure.
Yeah.
I'm interested.
It's in my library, so eventually.
All right, good stuff. Everybody's talking about it. Okay, well, I guess I do want to go to Marathon eventually, but we might as well go to it now because the chat is like covered in Marathon right now.
Why?
Gosh. I think it's a combination of things here, MVG, because it is Bungie. And if you think about it, well, I mean, we just literally just showed the gameplay, but Bungie hasn't had their it was Destiny. That was their new game that they did, and that
the Halo MMO
series, and that was the last. That's the thing they've made. That's the only IP they've made. This is like not even a new IP, but it's their first or next kind of game that they make after that, after 10 years, just about, right? So I don't know if people had. I'm trying to figure out what people thought they were going to see here with Marathon, because we already knew it was an extraction shooter. They showed gameplay. They sat around for, was that stream like 2 hours long or something?
I only watched the trailer. I didn't watch the stream. I just watched the trailer of the game.
Me too. I just watched the overview trailer.
Yep,
that was a good move. They kind of sat around, like a round table and just talked about how cool the game was, and they showed maybe 20 minutes of gameplay for a 2-hour stream of it, and it was kind of
marathons.
Yeah, I don't know. It maybe not the best way to hype up the game necessarily, but to my understanding, it's going to launch. It's September. It's coming out in September. I think it's 23rd, and it's going to come out with 3 maps, and not exactly a ton of content there at launch is the concern. And the other thing is it's gonna be they said premium price, but not 70, which makes me think 40. So that was 50. A red flag for a lot of people right now too. There's some concern 52. Around that.
Variable pricing.
So yeah, depending on if there's post purchase things for you to get, they might do like 40, 50, and 60 for like bigger storage space or something. We'll have to say. Yes.
I'm sure there'll be like stuff you can buy afterwards, cosmetics, that kind of. I assume that's what they're going to lean into here. But the idea, Evan, extraction shooter. What exactly are we looking at with an extraction shooter?
Well, the mechanic loop is just you know, you get into a map, you try to seek things. It depends on how Marathon approaches it, but like the most known and I guess notable, even though there's a bunch right now, would be something like Tarkov, Milsim, military simulation shooter. I guess that's what everyone would know from like streaming, even if they don't necessarily play it.
We'll look up this Milsim game. Go ahead.
The trick is that type of stuff is extremely niche because of how hyper difficult it is and how hard it is to understand. For a game like Tarkov, you actually have to go, at least when I was playing it, to exterior sites to learn maps, locations of things you want to actually loot so you can take them back to your base and build it up. It's not built in. Like, it's something you have to learn from the community. Like, oh, the key might spawn here. That key works on this door in this building, and that building might have this item. All kinds of craziness. Whereas what we were assuming, I guess, with Marathon was that it was going to be designed for the more casual audience, because that kind of shit with Tarkov is crazy. The idea of being able to go into a map and be like, I hope I get this, but you don't take the right like bandages and surgical gear and stuff in so that you get shot in the shoulder and you bleed out before you get to the exit kind of situation. That's hopefully, I guess, for the more casual audience, not going to be in Marathon. It's just going to be probably a little closer to, I guess, people paralleled it with like Apex and stuff, a little bit more of that feel. And yeah, I think right now the people who are, I guess, arguing against Marathon maybe being a thing are the people who expected it more as the Milsim. That's the vocal minority of it. But then also, I don't know if the crowd that they're actually targeting cares. So this could have an uphill battle, especially because it's a hero extraction shooter. And hero games have that issue of, unless you don't really connect with the characters you can choose from the beginning, you tend not to want to play it. So I don't know what they're going to do to get around that.
Yeah, I was looking at this. I didn't have any interest in the characters they've shown so far. Maybe it's the art style. Maybe that's what it is. But the characters didn't really stand out to me. In fact, we were talking about in the gameplay when they had the streamers playing it, and they were looking 15 feet off in the distance. And I couldn't see any of the people they were trying to shoot at. And they couldn't seem to either, because they were kind of having a hard time hitting the enemies. So I don't know if it's the art style, but when they were moving, everything was just blending. It's like a paintbrush stroke. Yeah. It's like
games that go this route is usually contrast based. So like characters tend to be a different contrast than the world around them, so you can more easily pick them out. But this is all high saturation, which is obnoxious for most people's eyes. So I could easily see it being a problem. I think I watch a streamer called Silent Sentry. I think OJ, you've seen him a few times too.
Oh, I watch him all the time.
He's been in the beta for this several times, like over a year or two. He said he actually really liked it. He's played a ton of Tarkov. He does a lot of Rainbow Six. He loves Milsim. He's playing Gray Zone right now, I think, or getting ready to. So he said it was good when he played it, but he was also worried about them having changed it by now, because he wasn't in this last beta round. So I'm kind of interested to see what he thinks about it.
Yeah, I like watching him because he plays all the shit that I'm not gonna play. So that's why.
And he's good at it too.
Yeah, and he's pretty good. He's pretty good at it, and his stream is very straight to the point. You know, no BS around it. So that's what I like watching him play. So far, it seems like he likes the game. Like he was saying there. I'm not gonna play this game probably, but I'm gonna watch him play. I'm keep watching him play.
I'm gonna try to beta it. It looks relatively interesting.
If you stream it, Evan, I'll watch you play. If you stream,
I might. I've been kicking up the Twitch channel a little bit.
So we got Evan. Okay, Evan's gonna give us an idea of this when it comes, or at least a beta. Otherwise, though, September 23rd, Xbox, PS5, and PC. They're not really. It's a little odd that they're not ready to say what pricing they have in mind. Maybe they could play around with it still in the background. They're not ready to lock that in. I don't know, MVG. Is this doesn't look like the Warzone replacement for us?
No. So I watched the trailer, and I will say, maybe I'm minority here, but like I like the art style. I thought the art style was actually quite interesting. It kind of gave me that Mirror's Edge kind of low poly, high color contrast vibe, and I kind of liked it. So for me, the art style wasn't really the main issue. I think the issue for me is the gameplay just looked very generic, and also I think it's only trios, right? Like I don't think it's
trios or solos, and people are saying that's a little annoying, because if you're going to solo against trios, what are they doing to benefit
exactly?
You?
So I feel like the amount of options they have in the game, at least currently, is quite limited. And ultimately, I think it's just going to be its undoing at the end of the day, because you need to come in, if you're going to drop a new live service game, especially a hero shooter, even if you do have the caliber of a name like Bungie behind you, that's going to get you so far, right? But like, you still have to have a really kind of fleshed out launch of a game. So you can't just kind of be limping in with just, trios and whatever. You have to really kind of mix it up. And I don't know if that's something they're trying to, to do, or maybe there's more they haven't showed us yet, but it just looks like a half-baked live service game. And ultimately, I don't know if it's going to succeed for them.
There is a bit of a trick, though, because at least related to the Tarkov side of things, when you go into a Tarkov map, you can either play as like a scav run, which is just like low gear. You play just a random NPC that you kind of take over, or someone can go in technically solo or in a group as like the actual military decked out people. So they'll be covered in armor. They'll be hard as hell to kill. They'll have guns that'll rip you apart from way farther away than most. So maybe that plays into the group or solo aspect of it. But I mean, I guess we'll just have to see. I think art style wise, it looked really low power in terms of like what might be required to run it, and that could run in its advantage. Because there's always that concept of like, if you could run it on a toaster, then it'll be able to run anywhere. All the different possible, I guess, like just the PC gathering, what are the cafes, PC cafes and stuff. If it can just go to all of those easily, that's great. But the problem is it does cost money, and that is like a barrier for that.
I had it for that, Evan. I was looking at the art side. I figured it was for lower system requirements, and then I also thought that it might be for a teen rating. That kind of crossed my mind too. The way
no blood,
maybe. I mean, the unfortunate part is no screenshot of this game is going to look good, because you're gonna immediately notice things like the ones that were going around Twitter today, like the ones that Wario were posting and various other people. Like no shadowing, the lighting just looked a little weird. Like everything just looks bad. But like if you see it in action, there's something about it that all kind of just works for me. But like, again, I don't think the art style is the real issue with this. It's again, it just feels like another live service game that has some really cool ideas, but there's just not enough that you're bringing to a day one launch where people are going to play it beyond a few days and then get bored of it and move on to something else.
The art style is fine. I think just like the color scheme, like the pinks and the pastels, like the greens, like the slime. That's the only thing. I thought the art style is fine. Just the color scheme's a little bit annoying. Maybe to watch for like a long period of time. I think I might get kind of tired of looking at those colors.
I do wonder if just the extraction shooter idea is something that is even fit for like the mainstream. I'm thinking they try to pull the Fortnite, they try to pull the Apex Legends crowd, but when you read the concept. And Evan, you mentioned Escape from Tarkov. It's very difficult. And I have to assume part of that is if you die in the game, you just lose your stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they mentioned that in the trailer thing.
To a degree, I know in Tarkov, you can have a box within your equipment that you can put stuff into. And if you die, it's a recovered box. So there is ways to prevent you from losing everything. Maybe they put that a little more into this because they are aiming for casual. So they do need to balance it to try to keep people who get home and have an hour to play a game interested in actually playing.
That's the one I'm thinking about. I'm like, okay, they hop in for 2 matches, maybe at most at night when they have some time, and it's like you die both times, lose everything. It was just net negative for that night.
Yep.
So that's I don't know. I also, they have Destiny too. It's still, people still play it a lot, and the Bungie crowd, I assume, is going to show up, but is the Destiny crowd going to play Marathon? I don't know.
I want to talk about the price for a sec, John, because you brought up a good point. Why wouldn't they just tell us how much it's going to cost now? Quit fucking around, publishers. Well, this is 2025. Like, people need to know what you're going to be charging for games. Not this, we'll tell you later or we won't tell you type of thing until much later on. You need to let people know how much they're expected to be, being charged for this. Because if you get it out now, then I feel like you've kind of just solved the problem. And now it's a case of, keeping people engaged. Maybe you throw in like a free beta weekend or something like that for people that pre-ordered. Like there's various ways you could actually keep people engaged in the game if you just let the people know from the jump how much it's going to cost. So I think that's an L on that one. You should let people know how much it's going to cost.
I wonder if they're still deciding.
Well, the word got out there that it was a premium price game, MVG premium, and our mind immediately goes, "Whoa, they're going to charge $70 for this thing." And they came in, somebody did, and was like, from the team, maybe this community manager, like, it's not $70, it's just premium price. So even they're like kind of sensitive to the price discussion. It looks
it's going to be different tiers, probably. That's what I think it's going to be. For 40, you get this. For 50, you get this. For 60, you get this. That's what. And I think that's the reason why they're not saying anything, because they're still trying to figure out what you get for each one.
So let me see, because they're Tarkov every season, and like every time they like do anything, there's always like tiers of how you can purchase it or get your hands on it. Currently a 250 tier, a 110, an 82, and a 50 to get into it, from what I can tell.
Mario Kart? Damn,
no,
okay.
Yeah,
Mario Kart Plus. Okay. Yeah, I mean, yeah, they're probably going to do it that way, or some type of way of different tiers, and they probably don't know. Probably haven't. I don't know if they haven't thought about it much or anything, but maybe they just, that was on the back burner before getting this thing together, like getting this content together to show. But yeah, but I see what MVG's saying for sure. Like,
might be the hardest thing to accept, that just Bungie doesn't make games that I like that much anymore. That's just the way it goes. Unfortunately, days of Halo are gone.
Well, they don't really make too many new games though, so it's not like they.
I know. Destiny at first was fine, but then I step away from it for a little while, and I look back and I go, I don't even know where you start now. Who knows?
Well, they deleted where you start. You start in a different place now.
The obvious thing is make Destiny 3.
No,
but
is it obvious?
Shooter.
Make Marathon.
Apparently, make Marathon
or an extraction shooter and call it Marathon, which is
2007 was a long time ago, man. Oh well. Celia, you playing Marathon?
Squad up, 3 people.
Oh geez. Oh no, I think I'm busy. Whatever day that is, I'm definitely busy.
You didn't hear about the DLC that they have there?
Oh wow, gee, even cooler.
Pretty sure there's a dating sim in it and some cats. Let's
Banjo
go.
DLC.
You can't lure me. You can't just say cats and get me to play this.
It was in the trailer at the end.
Banjo
it was a robot cat.
You'll play. You can jump as like a banjo bear, and like you got like a bird weapon.
A banjo bear, just like Banjo 2, because they do that in there. Yeah, I don't know. I don't really care about shooters, to be completely honest. The only shooters I care about are like track arcade ones. Like House of the Dead. Like I care about that.
Sometimes I feel like Bungie also doesn't care about shooters.
Yeah, I don't know. So this game in general,
aspect, though, right? Like their shooting is like their best thing about it. Right?
That was something that I really didn't have any issues with the trailer. I was like, yeah, it looks like what I expect from Bungie. Looks good. Shooting wise, yeah.
It looked like Destiny, right? Unless I'm like in terms of like
it looked like Destiny, yeah. But like what's that again? That's what we expect.
Stuff. Yeah.
Looks really fucking spongy though. I don't know if I want to play this game.
I mean, that's what Destiny's spongy too.
It's gonna annoy me, so. Yeah.
I saw a couple times where they took out somebody pretty quickly, but maybe that was like a special.
They have the PvPvE stuff. So I'm sure they have like drones or whatever just kind of rolling through, and you take them out, I assume, and you'll get stuff from them. And then there'll probably be boss characters and different. Apparently, someone was mentioning that there were dungeons kind of instances in the game that you go through and find.
Just like Tarkov.
I assume you're gonna run into some boss character that'll take everybody 100 bullets. Wipe out, something crazy. Everyone's just laying into this enemy. So those I'm sure will exist. And they'll probably be like medium tier enemies too. So yeah, that'll be. It looks like them trying to casualize Tarkov. I just don't know if I don't know if enough of an audience is there, unfortunately, for what their expectations are. We'll find out in September. I don't know. Or Evan, you could tell us about the beta when it drops. See what you think. Yeah. Okay. Evan will keep us up to date on that one. Did want to go over to the mailbag that I had up there. This is over on the Spawncast Network. You check it out over on Patreon, where I go through with a thread and I check out some of the things that you guys have to say and write in about. Let's see. This is from Derek. Says, is PlayStation already scared of Switch 2? A PlayStation Owners Forum survey put out yesterday was all about the new console. It asked what systems you had then. Did you know a Switch 2 Direct just happened? Did you watch it? What listed Switch 2 features you like to put those selected order in preference from 1 to 10? What you thought about Nintendo's NSO Playtime lottery for early pre-orders, and if there was anything you didn't like about it.
That seems really weird to go that in depth. Like asking about what other systems you like, that's fine. That's been done before. But that one just seemed really like a lot.
I think they're just gathering data for their own handhelds in development is what the word is out there right now. I think they're just seeing what's what, market research.
But even then, they never did that before with like their previous handhelds. But I guess it's a different time. But I've never seen that before, that in depth, like to where like that was that many questions. But yeah, I mean,
right.
I
mean, we had the person from Sony who was out there. They were taking pictures right during the Switch reveal back in the day. So I'm sure they're always keeping an eye, just to see what's going on out there. I don't know, survey, just see the lay of the land there. What do you think, Celia? I think they were just seeing what's what.
I feel like you're high on the competition, but it's different than like the console wars back in the day. So yeah, no sneaking cameras into things. But it's just kind of one of those things where, yeah, they're seeing what market research. Obviously they'll use those numbers for whatever thing they're working on their own system for. And also, they just gather data in general. A lot of like large studios and platform holders in general, besides having open like public surveys, they'll hire outside agencies to ask consumers under NDA very specific questions. So it felt more like in line with that. So I'm kind of confused that they didn't do that under NDA like they do when they hire outside agencies for the same thing. I don't know. It was interesting. And very specific, but nothing out of the ordinary.
This one's from April, who asks, after all the discourse around Switch 2, do you think Microsoft and Sony continue to bring their games over to Switch 2? Do you think having more power in the new system creates a more likely scenario for porting other games, such as Horizon Zero Dawn, or even something like Indiana Jones over to Switch 2?
Yes.
Likely. Yeah, it definitely creates more likely scenario for those sorts of ports. Yeah. I think Microsoft's more on board than Sony, but I don't know. I'm still wondering about Sony.
I could see Horizon coming to the Switch too.
Yeah, maybe they take a swing at it.
The first game?
See. Yeah, Horizon Zero Dawn. Yeah.
Oh, I don't know.
That actually wouldn't
surprise me. Maybe they kind of treat that as like a console exclusive to them. Like, and I know, yes, the Aloy and the Lego game, but that's like Lego, right? So,
and Aloy and Genshin, yeah.
Genshin, yes.
Yeah, they might see. They might see that as the opportunity just to continue pushing Horizon. It's pretty clear Herman Holst is pushing Horizon a lot right now, and that just seems like, hey, this is an older game for us. Let's move it over to an audience that maybe hasn't experienced it yet, and then maybe they'll want a PS5 when the third one comes out.
Still don't trust Herman Holst.
They'll drop the old one, like the original, and then they'll drop 2, and then they'll drop the remasters in that order.
Nah, he's
triple up on that.
Except for he's the Concord guy, right? He was the Concord guy.
Oh, I guess while we're at it, since you brought that up, Evan, the remasters, the re-releases, everything. You okay over there, Celia?
The cat attack.
There is a spider on my camera, and I'm killing it. God. Holy shit! Okay, hold on.
It was like, I thought it was like the cat.
Did Sean send the spider from his house?
It was a legit spider that just.
That was a spider that crawled on your webcam?
I thought it was the cat's tail. I thought it was the cat's tail that went across.
A furry spider.
Is that what that was?
Yeah.
It looked like kind of a furry spider.
Wearing the Wednesday Gomez outfit.
I thought that was your cat's tail
around her room.
Wow. I thought that was your cat's tail, like going past it.
That's what I thought at first. It's a freaking spider. Yo.
Okay, the MVG, you are the Last of Us guy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, the spider is vanquished.
Good job, Celia.
Right over there?
Oh my god.
There you go. You got experience. You leveled up. You got that was a level up on that one.
Its much larger older brother saw it, and he has plans.
The battle. Battle music.
I'm legitimately turning red right now.
We have The Last of Us Complete Collector's Edition. It says available July 10th. Has the first and second games in there. They have the DLC, a few little extra things, and even a thank you letter from Neil Druckmann himself. Just great. It's $110. MVG, you buying this?
It?
No.
I had to ask.
I like both of those games a lot. As you know, I'm a big fan. But how many times are they going to sell us the same games over and over? I mean, I understand, as you know, I mean, it'd be a little, hypocritical of me saying, why are you making a collector's edition where I work for a company that makes collector's editions of games? Because there are people out there that do buy collector's editions of games. So, you can't really say that's not cool, but it's not for me, John. I've played the games. I like them a lot. I don't need to buy a collector's edition of this game. But people will, I guess. So,
I think they're trying to break the Elder Scrolls Skyrim record.
Maybe.
Hey.
Yeah, could be.
I mean, they've re-released these games quite a number of times. I purchased the original game. I purchased the remaster. I didn't do the remakes though. But I did Last of Us Part 2. I did the DLC. I've played and beat them, and it's great. But I'm just gonna pass. But like, I saw people freaking out about the price. It's a collection edition. Like, to me, like, I get it. $100.
It's the 2 games.
Get the 2 games. I mean, it's much cheaper.
It's actually good value for both games, and in a collector's edition type presentation, it's not that bad. I think people are just like, not these 2 games again.
Yeah, we're tired of seeing this again.
But the games
it's
are so
that
much
meme
cheaper.
with the backpack that's like barely hanging on.
The games are, well, it depends on what version of the game. Like, if you buy like the original version, like the remade versions, or like the remake of Part 1. I don't know what the price is for the Last of Us Part 1, that remake, but yeah, it's not. I mean, it's $100 and something, and if you're a huge fan, then maybe. But yeah, I'm not enough of a fan. But I got both games physical, so I'm good.
It's very clear that this is for the HBO show. I think it starts tomorrow night, right? Yeah.
Yep.
I'm actually excited for that. I'm curious to see what happens there.
I get all that, and that stuff's all great. I think people are just like, all right, Sony, what do you actually have for us this year? Because all you're giving us is Last of Us Part 2 over and over again. You're giving us, the PC version I think the PC version just dropped, right?
It just came out.
Last of Us 2.
Part 2.
People want something else from Sony. We're waiting to see what they have for us this year. If they have anything, we'll have to see.
Yeah, because even Death Stranding 2, we have Kojima making that, really, and then Ghost of Yotei still isn't dated, and yeah.
Well, good for you. They'll probably have the Horizon collection coming soon. It'll be good.
There it is. All right. Man, maybe the Horizon multiplayer game at least.
God of War collection, not the old
technically one. They got Marathon for us. That's coming up September. That's Sony.
Yeah, but there's not really been anything that's like, you guys would say, kind of make fun of me when I say like anything like lit. You know what I'm saying? Like, what's like the,
I
like
get
Stellar
it.
Blade or something like that, like, where's like something like that at? Like last year they had Stellar Blade around this time, right? From what I
think even that May. People recognize Stellar Blade as Shift Up, and they're like, yeah, Sony had the deal with it, obviously, but people are looking for like the Sony studios to show up and be like, yo, watch this with the PS5. Let me show you why you bought this thing.
Like the God of War, like the the Horizon type of game, or something like.
So I get that
in a while. Though, when was the last time that we had something like that?
That like hit? Like, I mean, I liked Astrobot quite a bit.
Well, no, that's not the same. That's
like
not,
the tier.
I get what you're saying.
Horizon or something.
Like a God of War Ragnarok, something like that. Because Ragnarok, that was very good.
Yeah, I meant like that Sony type. You know what I'm saying? That big, Sony type of game. Like, it's been a while.
That really hit.
Yeah. I mean, Astrobot was great, by the way. I loved it. I bought it day one, played it. It was one of my favorite, PlayStation 5 games released this gen.
But, no, it wasn't Concord. Somebody in the chat second. It wasn't that. wasn't that one. Yeah.
I think it was Spider-Man, right? Spider-Man 2?
Spider-Man 2, probably.
Yeah, 2023. Yeah,
was Spider-Man 2. That was
late
like
2023.
obvious PS5 exclusive. Let's show off why you got this thing. Yeah, it might have been that.
So I don't remember what happened in 2024 outside like Stellar Blade, but you said, much more shipped up. There was Astrobot, and that was, I think they had something else, but that was it. They didn't have anything outside of like, really, for me, at least, outside of those two that I can remember. Maybe chat remembers something in 2024, but I don't think there was anything crazy. Yeah, Concord flop. They had Helldivers, but I don't know if that counts. I mean, if you guys are counting Helldivers.
Hey, but I mean, it was good, but I get why people are like, yeah, but it was the $40 multiplayer game. You know how people with PlayStation are like, we want that single player narrative driven, big budget looking experience. So I get that too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that's tough. Well, May's coming. Maybe they'll have some kind of showcase then and get things set up. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
If anything else, Ghost of Yotei.
Yeah, that's true. I'm gonna go back. And play the PS5 version of that game. I'm gonna finally go back and get that game done.
Brandon asks, the Direct showed a lot of Switch 2 exclusive games, including GameCube. Are you surprised Nintendo seems to be making a clean break from Switch 1 so soon?
But they
like not cross-gen stuff?
I don't think they're making a clean break from Switch 1. I mean, I think the showcase was Switch 2 was the focus of the showcase, but I wouldn't read anything more than that. Switch 1 is still the focus for a couple of years at least.
Yeah, because they still have games for 2026. They did a Direct a week before the Switch 2 Direct. That was all Switch 1 stuff. So yeah.
Doug literally said, "Oh, you can't afford to Switch 2? Well, you have the Switch 1. It's cheaper." So it's coming from NOA. That's what they plan to do. It's the family of Switches for right now, at least. And like OJ said, yeah, they literally just had a Direct for it. Like, why would they just be like later nerds 1 week later? That doesn't make sense.
I think people are going to buy Metroid Prime on Switch 2, but there's probably going to be a good amount of people that'll be like, I'm just gonna get it on Switch 1. I'm good, like that for that game if they're gonna buy it. So, or if they can't get a Switch 2 at that point, So yeah,
it'll sell
coming out still Switch 1. I mean, but man, the Switch 2 version. I saw the gameplay. It was dope.
This past week was we're talking about the Switch 2. Big week for Nintendo. Mayhem, chaos. Pre-order still not live. We had the tariffs went into effect, and then they got postponed 90 days. So originally 46% on Vietnam. Now it's down to 10%. People trying to figure out what Nintendo's doing. I'm actually surprised they have not enabled pre-orders. Yeah, I thought as soon as that postponement went in, they would start moving a bit, get plans going, and get those pre-orders back on. But we know May 8th is when they're planning to still do it for Nintendo's website, My Nintendo Store. So I assumed that the pre-orders would have gone live before then, at least for retailers. And retailers probably want to get these things going as soon as they can, because I guess I remember Nintendo was pretty strict. It was like, for us, 6 to 8 weeks to get your pre-order allotment in from release. And that is, I don't know if it's changed since then. That was like 10 plus years ago, but they were pretty serious about that.
I think the Mario Kart World Direct.
Yeah, that might be it, because the Direct is probably the best way to get the most amount of people to know when your pre-order date is. And since they lost that, putting it out in a tweet feels like shit. So the Mario Kart Direct probably.
Yeah, that's that's this upcoming Thursday. So
yeah, that would be on the 17th.
6 a.m. It's early. 6 a.m. Well, at least for us West Coasters. You guys 9 a.m.
Yeah, it's gonna be chaos. I hope they give us at least like a 24-hour, 48-hour in advance for it to happen, because I'm trying to figure out. I think I might just go to GameStop in person.
I think they're going to announce it they'll say pre-orders will be going live like a week from that, like maybe like the following Thursday.
Like right at the end of April. That's gonna be crazy too, man.
Yeah, I think maybe that's what they'll do, or they'll say it's going to be coming. Like, I don't know if they're going to do it, drop it that day. That'd be, or the next day. That'd be crazy.
MVG, what's the move for pre-orders for you? How are you going to do this?
I'm just going to roll the dice on one of the websites.
Are you?
Yeah,
okay.
I mean, I did register my interest on the Nintendo.com with my NSO account and stuff like that. So if that goes through, I'll do that. But I'm probably just going to roll the dice on whatever comes my way first. So I'm in for a Mario Kart bundle. I'll probably get another one as well. Keep it in the box just in case, someone finds a hack with a paperclip and a pair of tweezers or something, just in case. Not saying that's going to happen. Hopefully it doesn't, because we don't want Nintendo to have a repeat of last time. But yeah, whatever comes my way first, I'll grab one.
I'll say this with pre-orders though, guys. Like,
firmware.
Best Buy is usually pretty good. I've been able to get these systems at Best Buy every single time. PS5, Xbox Series, Switch OLED, the Switch One. I've been on a roll at Best Buy. They usually do a pretty good job with bot protection stuff. So they're like, Walmart's kind of trash. Target's kind of garbage. I was able to get a PS5 for my wife at Target, but it was garbage. Yeah, Best Buy is usually pretty good, because they make you sit in queues and stuff. Like they verify that you're actually real. I mean, I'm pretty sure there's still some bots, but it's not like as bad as like Walmart or as other places, that just have bot central. But I've been hearing, I got some friends in distribution, okay? And I've been hearing that a lot of them are trying to do some counteractive measures to the bots this time, like making you like press and hold like a button on there like 3 times before you go in for a pre-order queue, like things like that. They are trying to implement some new technology this time around, because apparently the allocation for this is going to be pretty large, way bigger. Like last time, just to give you guys a little bit of an example, or at least people to chat, it was 2 million units for like the whole world for a Switch 1. This one seems to be about 6 to 8 million. So it's a lot more. So there's going to be a lot of pre-orders, right? So yeah, hopefully it holds up. The websites hold up. Hopefully everything holds up and everybody gets a good allocation, you know?
Yeah, people have been worried about the pricing on this thing too. The reason they would have pulled it down is because there's actual concerns that the price might have to go up, which I saw that at least 2 of the PC gaming handhelds, they did see price increases.
But they were from China though, right? That's the manufacturing is from China. That was the MSI Claw, right?
Went up $100, I think.
Yeah, I put a post up because I saw it on on my phone, and I was like, whoa, look at this. I think I put it up on Twitter, but yeah, a lot of them went up by $100. Like they're up to like $600, $700, $800, sometimes $1,000 for like the highest ones for some of these, whatever. I don't know what these things are, these MSI Claws or whatever that is, but yeah.
That's my only concern. If they had to push it to, I figured if anything, it would go up $50 and they'd end up at $500 or $550. $600 would be crazy.
Yeah,
they would have to figure out something with that. I was talking to Nate about that the other night. We're playing, it might have been wrestling, but WWE, but we were talking about, I was like, I don't know how they would do that unless they tried to add value to it. So it's $600. It sounds crazy. But then they throw a game in, or then they add a subscription. They give you a year of NSO, or they try to figure out something to be like, let's just pack stuff in and just say, hey, it's $600.
They'd have to throw in like Breath of the Wild with everything, not leaving out the expense. They throw in Breath of the Wild with everything, you know, or Tears of the Kingdom, or throw in something else. I did see it on here though. Yeah, check out these prices, man. Like because of this tariff situation. The Claw 8 AI plus $899 to $1,000. The Claw 7 $799 to $800 or to $900. So $800 to $900. Like these prices are wild for this. Does anybody have this thing? Is it good?
I don't have the MSI, the new one. I have the first MSI Claw. It was okay. It was very different because they went with Intel for it, and it was the drivers were still kind of shaky. But to my understanding, they've worked a lot of that stuff out, and even the newer ones lean into kind of the AI cores and stuff they have for acceleration. But I have not tried that one out. No, I think right now my favorite handheld is actually the ROG Ally X. So that's mostly what I've used if I want to use a PC handheld. But that is also $800 handheld, so it's. Yeah, the Switch. The Switch 2 in its spot now at $450, I think, is well priced. But if it starts moving up because of tariffs, it's going to quickly lose that advantage. So that's just hoping they keep it at $450. Which actually, here's something else. While we're on the Switch 2 topic, we've talked about like the Switch. MG, you've talked about this quite a bit, just in your own videos, about how the Switch, when it was first revealed, and we saw the specs, and I remember vividly when it was first shown that it had 4 gigabytes of RAM. It was a major problem at that time. It was a serious point of like back and forth as to like, it doesn't have enough RAM to last long and be able to do a lot of these more advanced ports. And then we see things like Witcher 3 pop up. I'm looking at some of these comparisons and some of the hands-on time with this Switch 2 with early, games and stuff that we haven't had years of people developing and having experience on this thing. I am kind of wondering about the capabilities of the Switch 2 right now, just in general, like with what we've seen, and how many are we really still talking impossible ports for something that to me looks significantly more capable even than like a base PS4 at this point?
Yeah, I'm very hesitant to talk about, impossible ports at the moment, because ultimately we still don't really know what type of power and performance the Switch 2 has. We have a good understanding, but we don't really know how much more powerful it is, right? And, from my perspective, I can't say this is an impossible port until we know how fast the GPU clocks are, the memory clocks, the CPU clocks, the amount of memory the system has as well. So all that stuff is still unknown information, which is kind of like the final piece of, the puzzle. But I mean, based on early, screen captures and announcements and reveals, things look really good, right? Like it looks like it's definitely hitting some games that may. I mean, again, I don't want to say impossible ports, but maybe some games that we didn't necessarily expect to be running on the Switch 2. But I don't really want to comment too much more about it because we just need to see this thing. We need to know what the specs are before we can really make an assessment on that. But look, if you create the perception that this is a big game that shouldn't be running on this handheld, so it's kind of punching above its weight, that's a good thing from a marketing perspective. So, if Cyberpunk and Star Wars Outlaws, are these games that are considered bigger games that shouldn't be running on the hardware, that's a great thing from a marketing perspective. So, but we'll just have to wait and see when we get specs of the hardware before we can really make the determination.
Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest thing I'm looking at is the optimization. But how many of these PC ports do we see come out and there's just something wrong with it? It's pretty consistent, or like there's an issue with on the CPU side, and for some reason it's hogging resources and it's not putting up we dealt with that with we did the story on Monster Hunter Wilds, right, Evan, where it was like, why are some of these PCs are just struggling bad with this thing?
Yeah, but like
90% of the configuration you have, and
some configuration, but 90% of the time it's the freaking anti-piracy shit in the background,
that too,
which is just company problem.
Yeah, I think when you look at this, as you mentioned, MVG, it's going to be very difficult because it's not even going to be compared well to a PC handheld because they're half the time they're running Windows or they're running like a build of Linux or something.
Exactly. We're talking about a custom piece of hardware versus Steam Deck and all that stuff, which is running. Well, Steam Deck is running its Linux and whatever, but a version of Windows. So you can't really make those comparisons easily enough. But yeah, look, again, I just want to see what the specs are before I can really say that's really impressive, because who knows, there may be things that come to the Switch 2 that are even way more advanced than what we were thinking. So yeah, we'll have to wait.
Yeah, because now I mean, people hate the game keys, but now the reason those were born is because developers were complaining or saying they couldn't bring stuff over just because of the file size. It's like, all right, well, here's a game key if you want to use it. And unfortunately, now a lot of third parties are just using it outright. Yeah. They're all going to use it just about.
That's the thing, man. I mean, I know maybe we don't spend too much time on it, but that's the thing with me. It's like, I get it. Like, it's like a double-edged sword, the game keys. Like, some people don't understand it because there were so many games that were actually on cartridge on the Switch, but the Switch didn't get like a large majority of big, sized games. Like, there was some, and the ones that did come over, they were partial cartridges. Mortal Kombat 11. There was Hogwarts Legacy. There were so many. BioShock. There's just a number of them where it's just you don't even get the full game on there. So for me, at least, like with the game keys, it's like, okay, it's probably going to get more developers to actually put something out, to have a retail presence. But at the same time, it's like, oh man, like it's it doesn't have the game on there. So it's like, it's good and it's bad. So I'm hoping most developers, if you can make a cartridge and do it, you do it. But we've even seen some that it's like it's not that big of a file size and they still don't do it, like Bravely Default. But that's maybe more of a sales
I saw Street Fighter. I was like, okay, that's 50 gigabytes. I get it. Then I see Bravely Default next to it, and it's like 11 gigabytes. I'm like, okay, hold on a minute.
And it's probably, and they're probably thinking like, oh, okay, well, because the game's probably not going to sell too well. Bravely Default is not a big franchise. So maybe okay, but still, it still would have been nice. But then there's also like the Guardians of Azuma game. That game's, it's a complete on cartridge. So there are some of the AA, some games that are like the Daemon X Machina game. That's complete as well. So I want more to be complete, but the game keys, it's like one of those things to where it's a lateral move from cartridge in a box. That's like the internet download, but it's better than like a download code in a box. So it's like, it's better than one thing, but it's kind of like a lateral move from what we had before. It's not much better. It's not worse. It's just kind of like the same almost.
Do you work on River City Girls, MVG?
I worked on Zero. Yes.
Okay.
River City Girls 0.
Okay, so the thing with the game key that's really funny is we just had Indiana Jones come out on the PS5,
and it's like it's like a partial cartridge. It's a partial cartridge game.
It is. It's a game.
It is like 20 gigabytes of the game on there. About 20. Yeah. That's what they said. So
yep. It's funny, and then you have to download the rest.
Yeah. So that to me, that's like that's a partial cartridge. That is like, because like GameCube has like no data.
Oh no, you still, when you turn it on, they have footage. If you turn it on without the internet and you just install the 20 gigabytes, it's like you have to connect the internet or you can't play the game.
Yeah, that's how the partial cartridges, it wouldn't boot, right? Like, I don't think it would even, or it would
probably
boot, you wouldn't be able to get
something.
Yeah.
Can we cut the bullshit here? I fucking hate this game key thing. I don't like when you don't have, if you have a physical product but you don't have the physical meter on the product. You guys know my stance, so we're not going to go through that again. The thing I want to say is I wish Nintendo really solved this problem for the Switch 2. We know that cartridge prices, those game cards, are very expensive. And one of my biggest hopes for the Switch 2 was that they would solve for that to make it cheaper so they could manufacture games with larger capacities. And it's very apparent that they've done really nothing in that field. So now all we have is, still the same 8, 16, 32, 64, and that they haven't really adapted and evolved from that. And that's, for me, that's an L. Like, I feel like they should have come up with something that was cheaper to manufacture, that had more storage, and really kind of just adapt with the Switch 2. But
coming back to UMD
for that too, man. I was really hoping that they did that, because that was a huge problem on Switch 1. Like, you can count on one hand the amount of times that we got a game that was a 32 gigabyte cartridge. There was like Witcher, Mortal Kombat 1, maybe
Doom 2016, which
Doom 2016
limited run games did, by the way.
Shout out. And then I think Dragon Quest, which was Japan, Dragon Quest Heroes, and Final Fantasy 10/10-2. Although you needed the Asian version of that game. The US version came with 10 on the cartridge and then 10/2 as a download code. So there was barely any. So I knew it was kind of like, it was already kind of like dire with the Switch 1. But yeah, I was hoping that they got something, but yeah, nothing there. I don't know how the technology works. I don't know how the cartridge prices are.
Honestly, I don't either. I don't really, I just feel like they're just like modified SD cards. But obviously it's a lot more advanced than that. I get that, but I just wish they came up with a solution.
I agree.
Let's be real about this then, MVG. Is it worth putting the time, effort, money, R&D into that, when this could be the last generation they deal with physical media at all?
That's the thing, right? Like, if you have to make some cuts, unfortunately, these are the types of cuts that you make, right? Like, I think, maybe when they started talking about the Switch 2, like 8 years ago, whatever, these are the things that they wanted to get figured out. But eventually, something has to give. And I hate to say it, but this is kind of the thing that would.
In 2033, do you think we're still going to have physical games?
2033.
I think it's going to be all digital.
Unlikely.
Yeah,
we may just have game keys and just digital at that point.
I'm
sure retailers are pushing for game key, but go ahead, Celia.
Oh no, I'm really worried for game preservation in general. Just with the way that things are going, and I don't like the GameCube thing, but yeah, in like the 2030s or 40s or whatever, it's not looking great, because it still technically has, that physical to it, but it's not really. And I really hate that it's not on the cartridge. Like, MVG, this is not old man yelling at cloud. Like, I am very upset about this as well. I am the old man yelling at the cloud.
No,
I really like the
It's not just old people, young people too are. Man. Everybody's
like,
I don't know if young people are doing it like that though.
Well, not super young people, but there are people that want it on, want the whole thing.
Well, wait a minute.
I like having all of my game on the physical game cartridge or CD or whatever. That's what I'm buying. And if I'm not actually owning it, that's a problem. And I like having physical games because, like, A, I like having my collection. B, like, I love loaning my games to my friends and being like, hey, like, I love this game. You should check it out too. And then I force it on them. I like literally hand it to them and I'm like, later, tell me when you like it. But like, the thing is though, is that like, you can't really do that. And then, what if, something, you don't have access to the store anymore. You don't have access to internet anymore. Things change. One of these days, maybe what we have for Wi-Fi and like all that stuff that, connects our games to the internet. What if that doesn't exist one day? And it changes to something else? Then like I don't know.
Hey, you gotta hang out in a bunker. You're gonna be missing that copy of Mario Odyssey too.
World War III. It's coming.
I mean, think of it this way: like the Wii U shop just went down last year, right? I'm not saying that the Switch 1 eShop is going to go down like 7 years from now because everything's integrated, but everything has a life cycle, end by date. And I think the only reason why game keys exist is, well, obviously is to, facilitate larger games, but it's also to, resolve the secondhand market with GameStop and stuff like that. You can still actually resell these games after you've purchased them.
I kind of feel like the game keys are going to continue pushing people more towards digital, because the advantage for cartridges, you didn't have to have 20 gigabytes on your SD card or on your system storage to play it, and it worked right away. You're going to go through the same situation of you pop this thing. Street Fighter, how long is it going to take to download 50 gigabytes? You're going to pop that in and be like, oh, I guess I'll just leave this for a while.
Over the Nintendo network on Wi-Fi? It's like
that's the thing. I don't really know what kind of download. I mean, I assume it's going to be just faster with the Switch 2 in general.
Hopefully.
But that is something where I'd look at the Switch and be like, oh, all right, you're going to be sitting here for a little bit. I'll go do something else for a while.
The process,
unrelated, sorry.
No, go ahead, Sid. Go ahead.
I was about to slightly tangent. Okay, so related note, but unrelated note, I realize that I am in an echo chamber of we all love physical games. And so we're all like, yeah, we should have physical games forever. That's important. But recently I joined a Facebook group. I use Facebook. I'm sorry, guys. I joined a Facebook group for it was like Xbox, PlayStation, Nintendo gamers. And I was like, hey guys, how do you store your games? Cause I just keep mine in my den and it's on a bookshelf, but is there anything creative you do? And instead of giving me helpful tips, they literally just made fun of me for having physical games. They're like, why don't you just buy digital? Then I don't have any shelf space that's taking up in my house. Yeah. And I was so
listen, you don't need to join a Facebook group. My daughter, she calls me you old. The first thing she says, you old, you are so old. That's the first. She's 13. You are so old. Look at all those old things. Old, you're bald, you're old, you're bald, you're old. Those are that's
God, the harsh truths coming from
bald,
the offspring.
You're bald, you're old, in that order, whenever she sees games. So
does she scream Flint and Steel occasionally? Like a TikTok child?
She's like, you're bald and you're old. This is old fogey stuff with all these physical games and all this stuff. She's never even, it doesn't even come across her mind.
I will say, I saw one of Josie's videos recently. I think maybe it was the Mario Kart one, or maybe the Switch 2. She was on about physical media. She's all about it. So there is hope for, younger generations out there.
Josie's about 8 years older than my daughter. So for Josie's generation, maybe.
Like a minute and a half
my
older.
daughter's generation, absolutely. There is zero hope. There is literally 100% almost all digital. It's almost all digital with those.
It physically hurts.
To be clear, I got 3 physical games over there. That's about it.
But you're on PC.
Yeah, I just don't care.
PC gave up the fight a long time ago.
Evan, you're part of the problem.
The thing that's a shame.
Let me boot up a game I bought back when the original let me boot up a game that I bought back when the original Xbox was out and play it and not care.
Okay.
They were nice.
I don't need any of this. Oh no, yeah, we had some awesome boxes. They really tried to get people to buy the physical stuff.
I did have that moment of you're just old. When actually it's funny enough,
every was day.
The Dreamcast. So, yeah, every day. But in terms of games, I was like, I'll show the kids the Dreamcast. I'll show them this. This is it, because it's a unique system. The controller looks different. You got the thing that you plug it, the VMU. The visuals just look unique. They're different from anything else because they have that sharp look to them, right? Yep. All right, let's plug this thing in. I got the HDMI enabled one. It's really cool. Get the controller out. They look at it and go, what's that? What are they talking about? There's a cable coming off of it. What do you mean there's a cable coming? Yeah, you plug it in. Why? The corded controller is old people stuff now. The corded controller.
Did they comment how loud it is?
Really
I have one that has the disc drive and I have one that has the SD card in it. I had the one that was the SD card that was out. If I got the one that had the disc drive, yes, they would comment on that too. Because they really like the GameCube mini DVDs. They think those are really cool looking. But they still don't get the corded controller for any of this stuff. So it's weird because you think about the tube TV is foreign to them. They don't get that at all. And then they don't get the corded controller. Just goes right over their head. I don't know what this is.
I mean, they are coming from the generation that I think 2-3 years ago came in at 69% unable to read. So don't know if I want to take their opinions on things.
My daughter can read. She can read. Damn.
Good luck. She is ahead of so many of her
Evan
peers.
just accuse everyone's kids of not being able.
My daughter can read. Damn it.
But that's what's going on right now, though. Is like that generation cycled through, and now a wireless controller is like all they know. So it makes you think. All right, not too much longer, the physical media is going to be weird to them. Wait, when do you take that out? What's that? You just download it.
It's how we looked at like rotary.
They're saying,
phones.
what is it? Because they can't read the cover. I'm telling you right now.
Rotary phones, the ones where you go like.
Yeah, like one of those.
Those were like dope though back in the day. They were like, I was like,
okay, yeah.
Yeah,
so when I was a kid, we had the cord phone, and then like a little bit, like when I got a little older, we got the cordless phone, and my dad just really wanted a rotary phone, so he bought one. I remember being like, what the hell is this?
You can buy those again now.
It was really fun, actually.
It was fun. It was like
it was really
super fun doing like the rotary.
But it's like how we looked at that. Like that's just kind of how things are. I don't know. But yeah, I'm really glad you're showing your kids Dreamcast. It's Power Stone 2. You should show them that one.
Take them to the antique store near here. Show them all the old
I showed them
stuff.
Sonic. They like Sonic.
At least they listen to you. Yeah, at least they actually listen. I can't show my daughter no classic video games. Anything underneath Wii U, she just nope. So
you know why? It's a GameCube under there. That's why.
Oh my God.
MVG has a point.
But the N64 is below that, so like
yeah.
No, but the N64 is classic and aesthetic.
Classically has no
I've
games.
heard someone say like Xbox 360 was a
8
classic.
games. Thank you very much.
Xbox 360 is going to be 20 years soon.
Yeah, Xbox 360 is a classic. It's retro.
7 months. It's going to be 20 years old.
I don't like that.
It'll be able to drink soon.
Soon.
That is crazy.
That is crazy.
It's already drinking in Australia.
Oh, yeah.
And in Canada.
Yep.
Canada's like 19, right?
Yeah. Oh man. This is in accordance with the pricing that we've been seeing from Nintendo. Kale says Rockstar is rubbing their grubby hands right now.
Not just Rockstar. Ooh, it's gonna it's gonna be more than just Rockstar. Wait till the PS6 and the next Xbox come out. It's gonna be more than just Rockstar.
We should be seeing this GTA 6 trailer soon anyway. This thing should be popping up any week now because they're setting up. I don't know if people realize that they're setting up a good fourth quarter right now, or like last 4 months of the year. We had Mafia. The release date for that kind of got out there by accident. Looks like that's going to be in August. They have Borderlands in September. I kind of think GTA 6 is either October or November. And they're going to do like a 6-month run for this thing. This is going to be a sprint for marketing. And I think that trailer is sometime this month. So it's the price.
I don't think it's coming out this year. I'm not saying I know anything because I don't. I don't know. I don't know.
It does feel crowded though at the end of the year for like I don't know if they need more than 2 big releases. Like GTA 6 can just be their one release for a year,
I think it's going out next year.
Okay. I can see that. The price though is that GTA 6 I think it's 80.
I feel like it'll be 80 or 90, but Rockstar has the biggest moment right now to just kick in the door and shit all over all the like publishers who are like, oh, our little game is going to be $80. And there's like GTA $50. And it's just like,
yeah, right.
What? Like,
that would be crazy to the point where it'd be like almost not real. You'd be like, is this April Fool's or is this like it's not even April? Like that would be unreal if they did that, considering how long they worked on the game,
But they could do that like trailer where they're like, we respect your time and money. And it's just whoa.
And they would make so much less money. Like over like that would
No, they would, but they'd still make way more than most. That's the truth.
Oh, yes, they would. But the amount of people that are gonna buy the game, like I see what you're saying, and that would be awesome for the consumer. I would love for that to happen. But the same amount of people are gonna buy the game, whether it's $80 or if it's $50, people, it's gonna be the same amount.
The trick is a lot of the sales currently with it's been kind of chalked up to people buying it, going online, cheating, getting banned, buying a new copy because it's like $5. So like you pay for the cheats because a lot of cheating programs you actually pay subscriptions for because it's actually a big business. And you have your cheat, you paid for your subscription, you get banned halfway through the month, you've got a rest of the month to play, and it's $5 to get back in the game and keep cheating. Screw it, I'll do it. Like that was the same thing with Overwatch for a lot of people too, for aim assists.
People
and stuff.
have no life. You've got to have no life to do something like that.
No,
it's wild.
I think the things would be $80. I think it's gonna roll out.
I'm just saying it'd be hilarious if they were if they were just like, and just like 60, like we'll keep it classic 60. And it's like cool.
Yeah, that would be awesome. It would be great, but yeah, I don't know. How much did they sell? They sold 100-something million for GTA 5.
For GTA, it's 200 more than 200 million.
200 million. Excuse me, I'm undershooting them. 200 million. You know, and it's eventually going to get discounts like GTA 5 did. So like, we're going to start high and then work our way down.
I have this is a question from Game Bro or the Mailbag saying, what third-party GameCube games do you think could legitimately join the NSO library?
Let's talk about a good system, good classic system here. Go ahead, MBG. You first.
Neo Geo. Neo Geo.
Give me anyone.
Third-party games, GameCube.
Any good one that you like? Yeah,
I
would like to see.
Twin Snakes. I would love to see. That would be incredible on the GameCube. What else third-party is good on the GameCube? I don't know.
I have a list.
Oh, GameCube.
I'll throw out a weird one. How about that?
Hold on. Everything's coming to me now.
Okay.
I mean, there's some really great Sega stuff on there, of course. Skies is one of the games I'd like to see.
Skies would be cool.
People saying Eternal Darkness. That's first party, right? Nintendo owns that game.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I want Eternal Darkness as well, for sure. The Factor 5 games. Yeah. Okay. Now it's coming back to me. Yeah. Rogue Leader. Rogue Squadron.
Yep.
Those Factor 5 Star Wars games. They have to be on there. So yeah. Beautiful Joe as well. Good games.
Yes, those are like my number top picks.
This was Joe. The online's in it, right? Like you can just play with other people online.
Yes,
WarioWare
online as well. Yep.
Yeah.
WarioWare. Yeah, WarioWare. Well, what's a good third party one?
Oh, third party.
It's not Nintendo. Yeah. Third party. Ooh. I'll throw out a weird one. I'm gonna say NBA Street.
Oh,
yes. EA big.
Volume 2 and NFL Street. NFL Street Volume 2 and
any
NBA
of the streets.
Volume 2.
That was like always on in my college dorm.
So you think it's kind of weird to get those back in there.
Volume 2 is perfect. It's literally like the perfect street street ball game. It is so good and addictive. You can play that game forever. Like I used to play all the way up until like 2021. I used to play NBA Street. It's so good. NBA Street Volume 2. Volume 1 is just okay. But Volume 2 is awesome. Volume 3 is But there's Mario in Volume 3. There's Mario, I think, Luigi and Princess Peach. I forgot. Yeah, but yeah, Mario's in there playing against like Dwayne Wade.
Yeah, why not do that one?
Yeah. Well, that one's Volume 2 is more it's balanced better. But
Simpsons, Hit and Run, and Road Rage. And then I have a bad one that we won't get. Mary-Kate and Ashley Licensed to Drive. It is so bad. I've made so many of my friends play it with me, and it's basically unplayable. But it's really fun.
What is it? Mary-Kate. What is it? Mary-Kate and Ashley what?
Licensed to Drive. You know how like there's Berio Kart or whatever? Like, you'll play with your friends, like, or whatever. I've done that one, but it's Licensed to Drive.
I wanted to see what the Metacritic score was on that.
It should be a 0. That game, it's so unplayable. It's
Licensed to Drive. I just wanted to see I was just curious what the Metacritic was on that. One of the worst. Is it one of the worst? Like, it's Sweet 16 Licensed to Drive, right? It got a 49 on Metacritic.
It's incredible.
Bat and Kaido.
It's like set up like Mario Party, except like you're not having fun and the game doesn't work.
Game Now gave it a 33 and said repetitiveness and poor controls ruin the girly goodness. March 2003, page 53.
The girly goodness.
That's their quote.
Wait, repetitive controls in a racing game?
No,
repetitiveness and poor controls.
Oh,
why? That's so bold of you to think that this is a racing game. No,
IGN gave it a 50 and said Mario Party does it much, much better. It's more polished, features more mini games, and employs better pacing.
There's a mini game where nothing works, and you just gotta sit there.
They actually just released a broken. That's nice.
It was awesome. I hope we get that on NSO. Really get our money's worth.
Probably will, honestly.
And then finally, Joe McKenna says, what do you think Nintendo can actually start to steal PlayStation customers in the long run? They already have the advantage on the handheld market and exclusive IPs, but adding massive third-party support with Madden, COD, FromSoft, etc. could really push them over the edge. That's from Joe.
I don't think so. Like the person that's just looking just to play those, I think it'd be more of like it's an additional thing because PlayStation still has the most powerful system and it's still going to be the default in terms of getting everything. And so I don't know if they can steal them, but can they get them to buy the Switch as well? Like Switch 2? Yeah, they can do that. That's what they did this past generation. I don't know about it's like steal them. No, get them to buy it. Sure, absolutely.
Correct, because user acquisition to get people over to your console is more expensive than getting people to purchase your games on the console that they're comfortable with. So it's just kind of one of those things where it's like an add-on. They're getting PlayStation is getting extra money. It's not necessarily stealing users, and it's just it's too expensive to do that. So that doesn't seem like a great plan.
Yeah, I think at this point, digital libraries, the trophies, all this stuff kind of has a hold on people for PlayStation. So it is kind of that complementary system at this point, even if it's just for convenience. Like we see with Cyberpunk, where you can have your save data technically go with you, can transfer around. Ubisoft does that a lot too. So it could be complementary for now until Sony introduces their handheld, at which point I assume the Switch 2 would just be for Nintendo games they're interested in. So I don't know if you're going to pull people away from their platform at this point. Most people seem pretty entrenched with where they are. Let's talk about the Xbox showcase. It is happening. It's E3. How much longer do we say E3, not E3? Are we just done with that now? Is that over?
I didn't even see that they announced the showcase. That's the funny thing. Did they actually? I did not see.
Oh yeah, June 8th, big day. June 8th.
It usually pops up on my sidebar for Twitter. I literally I see nothing on that.
No.
That's crazy that I did not know about it.
They tweeted about it on April the 9th. Mark your calendars for the Xbox Game Showcase, followed by the Outer Worlds 2 Direct on June the 8th. Saturday, June 8th, 10 a.m. Pacific time.
Okay, cool.
Yep, 1 p.m.
going
Eastern.
to stream it. Yeah, let's go.
Yep. So the Outer Worlds 2 being their big focus, I guess, since it's going to follow up, which is I like that it's not just Call of Duty every year, because they could easily just be like, hey, it's going to follow up with Call of Duty, which apparently this year is going to be Black Ops 7 is what's going around right now. Like we just got
that's really
Black
funny.
Ops 6. Here comes Black Ops 7. It's like, okay, I mean, the brand works, I get it, but man, it's okay. So that's obviously one of their big showings here is going to be the next Call of Duty. That's pretty clear. They'll probably spend 10 minutes going through a level or something, and it'll look like Call of Duty, I assume. But then it's like, okay, now what after that? Which I mean, Gears E-Day is out there somewhere. Fable is next year. We've had things like South of Midnight just come out, so Compulsion, I guess, would be like off the table unless they're working on 2 games. So I am interested to see what Phil Spencer and everyone has up their sleeve. I don't think they're going to wait until then for that ROG Ally to get announced. You
forgot about Perfect Dark, John. Perfect Dark.
The world
the game that I really want to play.
Dark.
I want to know more about Perfect Dark as well, and I'm curious if they're just going to talk about.
Didn't talk about
the
Fable
first
either.
I want to talk.
Yeah, Fable's like
they're not going to show Fable.
I don't know. Will they? I mean, how many times they're falling into what Sony did for a while, where they showed Spider-Man like 3 times at E3 or something.
True. It is kind of I mean,
like,
Fable's been
doing this.
Yeah, that's true. I forgot that it got delayed. Sorry.
Perfect Dark is an interesting one though, MVG, because I feel like they could do a bit more with that and maybe try to put a release time on it. I don't know. Even at least put 2026 on it or something. I don't know. That game's just been out there for so long, and it looked good when they last showed it. I just like to see something a bit more concrete about that. There is that, what's the codename, Contraband, that's apparently out there somewhere too.
Yep.
I'm curious if State of Decay 3 comes back. That's out there somewhere. I don't know.
I have 2 guesses for things that will be in the showcase. Okay. So if you remember from previous Xbox showcases, Atlas announced their new game with them. So that's when we got Metaphor. So I am hoping for like a Persona 6 or something announcement.
Okay.
Like
I'm
listening.
That's what okay. I don't, obviously I'm just guessing and like, wish listing, but Xbox tends to have, a lot of Atlas announcements. Mm-hmm. So I don't know, like there's been rumors of P6 existing for so long. In my head, that makes sense, especially since they usually purchase out the marketing rights for that. Yes. So I'm hoping for that. And then another thing is I'm hoping to know Silk Song's release date. Reason for that is because it was shown in the B-roll, or did it get trailer? I don't remember now. It's been like a week. In the Switch 2 trailer, it's like coming, eventually. Yep. And since it has been announced that it's release year, the next activation that they would announce it for, since they've already done coming to Xbox back in the day, would be a release date activation. And since they announced the game with Xbox, I think, if I'm remembering correctly, it's been quite a few years, it would make sense for them to do that marketing cycle where they have the beat of announcing the release date. And, June is a great time to do that. So those are my two hopes. I've been waiting. So we'll see, though. We'll see.
Isn't the color scheme for Persona 6, wasn't it rumored to be green?
It was
right.
Yes, it was rumored to be green. I don't know if that has anything to do with the Xbox, but it was
nothing.
Rumored to be green.
No,
nothing at all.
They've done yellow, blue, red. Like they're running out of colors. Of course, they're going to hit green. Okay.
I mean, it matches up though.
They could do the announcement of the announcement show like they kind of normally do.
Yeah, the announcements. Listen, we all just want something. Persona 5 is like, it's like a GTA level at this point, or like Mario Kart 8 level. Not in sales. I just meant like, and how long they've been porting it. Like
it's
how
on the
long
PS3.
Lasted. It's on the PS3. It's on the PS4. It's on the PS5. Like it's lasted 3 gens now. That's what I meant, not sales wise. No.
So when P6 pops up and a 2030 pops up next to it, you'd be like, oh.
Usually, if you look at they usually take a while before, but I think they want to tighten it up this time. I think they don't want to have a large amount of time before when they announce it and when the game comes out. I do think it'll be different because they could have shown this game already. I know for a fact that they could have shown it is in a state to where it's good, but they're waiting. And I think they want to have that release date. They want to have everything ready to go. And this will be their first time ever, outside of like a remake, that they actually release a new Persona game worldwide. They usually release them in Japan first. Persona 5 came out in 2016 in Japan, and then it came out later. It came out early 2017 in America. So this will be the first time that it's actually a brand new worldwide Persona release. So that's also something that they want to do.
I'm really excited. I really hope that they do. And Oda, you do make a really good point because they have been cutting down their reveal to release date pipeline in their marketing cycle. It has significantly gone down. Like remember when Persona 5 they just showed us like a color basically, like some chairs.
I remember exactly. Yeah. It was like 2014 or 2013. Might have been before that. I know it was around that time, and it was just a red background with the chains chairs. And like chairs.
Yeah, it was chairs. I'm like, I'm remembering correctly, right?
Yeah, so young and unjaded back then.
Yeah, and I was like, what is this? Okay, I'll make a mental note. And literally, I used to call my PlayStation 4 my Persona 5 machine because that was the only game I had for it, and that's the only thing I played. I got more games eventually, but I love that
was the game that I liked the most. Like if I had to pick one game from the PlayStation 4 that was like my favorite game, it was definitely Persona 4. Absolutely.
4 is so good.
5.
5 is so good. 4 is good. Like, okay, I love 4. I have Nanako on my.
Will they announce a remake?
I want that. I want that so bad. I just. Let me put
Persona 4 is supposed to be getting a remake, yeah.
Which is some people.
I think we might
a lot of conversation about that.
I love that game so much. The character, it's so good. It deserves a remake, like the way that they did 3, because 3 Reload was fantastic. I played the shit out of that. I will definitely be hosting a my friends come over party to play Persona 4 when it does eventually, if it does.
Well, some people like Persona 4 more than 5. There are a segment of people that
I would say like I enjoyed the characters more of Persona 4 more, to be honest, but I enjoyed the flow of the game and discovering, and just kind of the more of the world in 5, if that makes sense. But both are great. I love them. Oh my gosh. Persona, yay.
It seems like there are 2 games this holiday would be Call of Duty and Outer Worlds 2. And I say that because Oblivion Remake isn't being held for it seems like they're actually going to shadow drop that game in like 2 weeks, which is crazy because it hasn't even been announced yet. They're just going to announce it and boom, here's Oblivion Remake, which that throws me off unless they really are like, we can't stack too much in the off chance that GTA 6 does come out. So Outer Worlds 2, Call of Duty, maybe that MVG, this Gears collection rumor keeps going around. It's back again. So maybe that. And I mean, the elephant in the room would be PS5 and Switch 2 logos all over the place. That's what's going to happen.
I want to know what Tim Schafer and Double Fine are up to. It's been a while.
I would like to know too.
Just hanging out.
I feel like June Showcase sounds like a good time to announce what you're working on, Tim.
Psychonauts. What was it? It was Psychonauts 2, right? Psychonauts 3.
Psychonauts 2. Very good game.
Psychonauts DLC.
Oh gosh. I would assume it's a new IP or something that they're doing. I don't know if they would go. Maybe they would continue Psychonauts. I don't know. I feel like they would do something new.
They've tried new stuff, but I know that they've had to cancel some of it, like mid development.
Yeah, I feel like they're gonna show up with something like crazy looking. Which here's a good one with Brutal Legend 2. Jack Black, of course, in there, starring Jack Black.
Yeah, like Space.
Otherwise,
Jesus.
I kind of feel like we're gonna watch this showcase, and it will be Master Chief Collection going to Switch and PlayStation, and here's Gears going to Switch and PlayStation. And it's like, oh, okay, here's a lot of ports. Oh, Sea of Thieves going to Switch too. It's like a lot of announcements for those as well.
I think they'll just do that thing where they try to make you believe that it's exclusive on Xbox, but as soon as the showcase is over, they just announce it for everything. But they say first on Game Pass, first on Xbox, early access first on Xbox. But yeah, I mean, I think you're probably right. These games will probably all make their way to various systems.
Can I have one unhinged prediction?
Sure, go ahead.
Okay, Blank's Time Sweeper. They're gonna do a reboot. Hey. They'll announce it. Xbox will reinvent itself.
Yeah, I don't think that's happening.
Honestly, I think they'd be, if they
that's their new Astrobot.
I wouldn't hate it, because at least it's like, hey, we're gonna just do something really weird and kooky and just see if it works. So yeah, you know what? I respect any studio or any publisher that takes a risk just for the hell of it.
Imagine Blinks, but like really, really good. Like it'd be so great.
Imagine this game, but good.
Marketing.
It's gonna be an interesting showcase. It's hard to say exactly what'll get announced there and what ports they'll go over, but I think it will be one of those longer shows, like an hour long. And I'm curious how far into the future they go. Are they willing to announce anything that's out in 2028 even? Because we could be talking about the next gen Xbox by then. So something to keep an eye on. But yeah, there we go. June 8th, we have, I guess that's summertime coming together with that and Summer Game Fest. And I'm curious if Capcom or Square try to do their own event as well. Start to fill out June. You go over here. I'll take a look at some of the super chats that we have here. Let's see. This is from Pickle Rick. Says, hey, Spawn Wave, hey, all, RGT is my favorite YouTuber. Okay. How would you guys reinvent the next Fallout, kind of like what they did with Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom? Next Fallout.
Dating sim.
Yes.
Yep.
Oh, well, okay.
That's what I think about too.
Fallout. Interesting. I mean, that's tough. What did they do with the next Fallout? I mean, the last one I think of is like Fallout 76, which probably is
Extraction shooter.
Extraction shooter. Yeah, he's more multiplayer.
Dude, it's the world for it. Got to break into the vault. Got to go throw
You're
them.
Right. It kind of is. I don't know if I want
to do like Fallout Australia, where all the animals get on
just present.
So just Australia.
Yeah. Australia and New Zealand. I don't know.
That'd be it. Cool. I mean, just do a setting change like that. But yeah, the crazy thing is, I mean, you're right. An extraction shooter
is the ideal setting. It's perfect.
I don't know. The next one, I feel like we don't need multiplayer again. I think you can go single player and be fine. Let's see. Dawsmane's Twitch VOD says, I hope they release Knack 3 for Switch 2. I hope they port Knack. That'd be funny just to do it.
Knack 1 and 2 double pack on Switch 2
collection.
A double pack.
Good.
Knack,
I get it.
Good. Knack, but good. Try to make it
Reese says, pray for y'all and sending love. Thanks for the content. Also, any good roguelike deck builders? Balatro and Slay the Spire is what I love. What's one you have?
Well, no, there was like a new one that just popped up, but it's not just straight up a deck builder. You do like some top-down strategy stuff to it. I think it was like Deck Commander. It just came out recently.
On Steam, I assume.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Hold on, Reese. Evan will see if he can get that name. Lamont says, is it true that the US, Canada pre-orders are pushed to May 8th? Will there be enough Switch 2s to go around? Well, Nintendo's taking pre-orders, then we don't know about retailers or partners or anything yet. So that May 8th time, it was already kind of known. So this is one we're just waiting for with retailers. Will there be enough Switch 2s to go around? Probably not. Let's be real, probably not. But I think you'll have a better chance than we've had in the past for some of these console launches, just because Nintendo is like going crazy with stock. So
I was able to get 2 PS5s somehow. So I mean, the stock should be better. And I know PS5 was tough to get, but yeah.
Oh yeah, Commander Quest. I don't know what else it's on, but
Commander
it's
Quest.
called Commander Quest.
Okay, there you go. Reese Commander Quest. Check it out. Edwin says, why paywall Wind Waker to Switch 2? I've never played it back in the day, but now's my chance. Well, it's just part of the GameCube service that's part of Switch 2.
Well, look, I'm not a huge fan of, paying for that, but I will also say, have you seen how much they go for on the GameCube these days? This is a much more accessible way of playing those old games.
Here's a hack.
Having them release it on NSO doesn't mean that that's the only place it's going to be available.
It's true.
They released Mario 64, but then they had their limited time. I guess that makes it sound bad again, but limited time physical release, multi-pack, blah, blah, blah. So maybe they could do that with, I don't know, the Wii U version of the game, which is the superior version. I don't know.
Wii U version of the game.
I disagree, by the way. I don't think it is. But.
You don't think it is?
No, you know what you can do? You can do this. You can get the free trial. You just play it, and then you're done. And then you just
1-7.
I like the idea of being able to.
So that logic, OJ, was when I got Game Pass. I was like, I'm going to play a couple games and then I'm done. And I've had the service for like over a year now. So
they might get you, but if you're worried about the paywall, that you just do that. You play it, Edwin. You beat it because it's not a super long game, and then you beat it, and then you're done. Then you played it and you enjoyed it.
I like the idea of you being able to also buy the games separately if you want from the service. I feel like there's some contractual stuff that some of these games can be on there as long as they are, because they can't be sold separately, and the partner, publisher, whoever can have the option to sell it themselves in a collection or something. I don't know if that works into it, but I kind of think it could.
That's first party though, so that wouldn't be a
well, I mean, just like in general, some of these, like we see the Sega games, for example, on there. Like there's a bunch of them in that app, or Capcom with their Mega Man Game Boy games or stuff like that, where they can still sell it separately. But the thing with the service though is, if you have it and you have like a family plan and you have all these Switches with these GameCube games and N64 and stuff, there is that sense of they just drop it in there. They can announce it. It's available now. And there is kind of that impulse, not even impulse buy, it's impulse download or impulse start up, because it's there immediately. There's always games that people wouldn't try unless it was just thrown in front of them like that. So I hope just for the GameCube collection, because there weren't many people who bought the GameCube really, they just have some games thrown in front of them they've never thought about before or tried. Like even Soul Calibur 2, you could say, with Link, like, oh, let me try this out.
To me, GameCube is the most playable out of all of the old systems that Nintendo's done. GameCube games,
even N64,
way more than N64. GameCube games play and
disagree.
Feel
Disagree.
They play and feel great.
Disagree.
A lot of them run at 60 frames. A lot of them, they're good, man. They are so good.
John, the recent super chat is actually relevant to the last one too, because I was wondering, you got the online, you could play multiplayer. Tingle mode and Wind Waker.
Oh, they did.
That was amazing on the GameCube. I loved spending my friends' rupees to drop bombs on them.
Wait, that was with the Game Boy. I
Game Boy Advance,
that
yep.
I think that's in. Was that in?
It would be cool if you could do it. You just hear the little noise. You're like, "What the hell's he doing?"
Look, like Pokemon XD is going in there.
Yeah,
there's so many people who would not play that otherwise, and it is a
Fire Emblem Path of Radiance is there. Sell your physical copies down before the value goes down.
That'll never happen. Those prices keep going up. They never go down.
Yeah, it became less fun to talk about it because like you're just gonna show them something that there's not gonna buy. It's just not gonna happen. It's like I have some of these in solid acrylic cases right now, and I look at it and go, "What are we doing here?"
You guys got to play Path of Radiance. To the chat, play Path of Radiance when it comes out. If you get the GameCube, you got to play it. It is a goated Fire Emblem game.
It's really
that was
good.
main
Second
Twitch VOD. Marathon is an L for me. Give the fans what they want. A live service NAC game. What they want.
Okay, get them
Shout out
NAC
to Jason
skins.
Dean. Professor says bribe a Target employee for a Switch 2 might work.
That's true.
He says got Indy Jones Friday for PS5. Loving it. Wish the controller was supported more. Will this game be forgotten at VGA based on what's been coming out?
100%.
Yeah.
It will be.
It's gone. It's already forgotten, brother.
It's a great game though.
You could get best voice. You might get voice actor for Troy Baker though.
Probably.
Yeah.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Unless
See
they
what
do
else
like
comes
a
out.
big supersized re-release of something. No one's gonna remember it.
Sean says, I love the taste of the Switch 1 cartridges, but I hope they give us new flavor for Switch 2.
It
You
still
know what?
tastes
Same.
bad.
Same.
It still tastes bad, apparently. So
Coffee covered chocolate or something.
Grove says, John should remake the Who is Spawn Wave video. It is older than the Switch 1. That is an old video now. That's very old. That's quite old. Jason says Wildgate is more interesting than Marathon. I don't know what Wildgate is.
I don't know what that is either.
Sounds like an Evan game. Evan, you familiar with Wildgate?
Hang on. Or keep going.
Lucia says Doom Dark Ages is 109.99 euros in Europe for premium. There's nothing interesting for the base game, and that's a 12-hour game. Is that worth more than Mario Kart World? You know what?
Value is subjective, boys and girls.
We're gonna get into the Mario Kart World thing with the Direct. That's our last topic because I'm curious if there's anything they can do. Tortilla Boy says she didn't scream like RGT did.
Oh, did that happen to Sean too?
Yeah, he screamed.
He hit a note that I didn't think was possible when it happened.
Yeah, good for him.
Little falsetto.
J Dog says, according to my GameStop district manager, based on talks between GameStop and Nintendo, Switch 2 pre-orders point towards May. Nothing confirmed, but keep an eye on May 8th.
I read that as GameStop Dungeon Master. I was like, oh.
Probably got a Dungeon Master that works there.
Super Christian Me World says, Celia Spider Sense tingled. Celia caught a Sporanic. Spearneck, thank you.
Pokemon.
Celia defeated the Black Widow. Okay, I'm running dry on jokes.
Gosh, that was so scary though. I saw movement. I'm like, wait, what is that? And it like went around.
The trick is that moment when you kill it and then all the baby ones start crawling everywhere. Like,
okay, no, don't joke that. But I did have like for the conversation after, you know, when like you see a spider, so then your brain registers everything as spider. That was happening. So I was like I'll see like a piece of dust fall and be like, oh my God, spider. And so I was having a little fun panic for like 5 minutes after.
Tico says, into the Spawncast verse, the spider could have given you powers. RGT isn't here. He got bit last night and is web slinging with a vape cloud trails.
Good for him.
Joshua says, what are your pre-order date predictions? Let me see.
I'm going
Shadow drop.
I'm going
week of the 21st.
April, yeah, 20. I'm going 22nd.
I'm just gonna say Monday.
What if they announce it on the app?
Pre-orders are open. It's whatever.
Just 7 a.m. East Coast.
Yeah.
Go
Monday.
get them. Remember Switch
Monday.
1 pre-orders? It was like right after this show. It's available for pre-order. Everybody was scrambling. Right after
I remember I
nighttime.
left, drove to GameStop immediately. I'll take the pre-order.
It was like midnight or something in the East Coast. I forgot exactly what. But they were just like, yeah, pre-orders available.
Later, nerds.
Basically.
There's Breath of the Wild. Pre-orders available.
Do you
Bye.
think they'll announce it on the app?
I
'Cause
think
Oh,
so.
I
think
feel
so.
like that's a thing that they will do because, like, you know, how they did the direct and like their last final, you know, note was on the app, and everyone's like, I'm not going to download that. What use it is? And then they announced the movie information. And if they announce pre-orders the Mario Kart, I feel like that would be something, but it could take away from the attention of the game and like their focus there. So like the app could be where it starts. I don't know though.
I'm going to recommend that people just download the app.
Yeah, I set
sport.
it up. I didn't really want to, but I have it installed just in case. Just in case.
Yeah.
I think there's gonna be the day where they fully move their directs over to the app and not do it.
You got to watch it on your phone just like this.
Yeah.
Callan Shaw says Split Fiction meta scores across all platforms way higher than Blueprints, 93, 82, 88 versus 91, 90, 93. Don't let that game slip by. It's really good. Yeah, I do want to play Split Fiction. I got to get to that.
Just needs to let me borrow it.
Jonan says computers and phones are exempt from tariffs. Yes, I saw that. Unfortunately, apparently not the game systems as
which that was why the PS3 allowed you to install OSs on it, was to get around some kind of tax thing. So
there it is again. Super crispy world as of today. Yep, POTUS has exempted computers and phones from tariffs. What about electronics, sir?
Right.
Well, need the game systems to qualify.
Oh, dude, if you could install Linux on a Switch too.
Can we get like just get Microsoft, like just get Office app on there? It'll be good. There you go. It's a computer. Mr. L says, pre-order mine from Nintendo UK on Tuesday. Got the Mario Kart bundle plus GameCube controller. I was worried that controller might be scarce. GP says $80 for a Wii U game. Thank you. Is that a hole of the wind? Thank you, GP. Elliot became a member. Shout out to Elliot McFarland. Rich Retro says, can you imagine walking into GameStop and buying a pre-owned game key for Mario Kart for $74.99?
Yes.
Member rate.
Yeah.
That
Mario
hurts.
Kart isn't a game key, but
Mario Kart is on the full cartridge, to my understanding. But you could make the case for, I guess, I'm trying to think of the big game key. Elden Ring.
Just laugh at the joke, guys. It was funny.
Yeah.
And this is GameStop. They have been taught.
Believe that, considering how many people are just throwing around shit online.
But this is GameStop. They were caught opening new games because the used games were more expensive.
They did that with Xenoblade. Xenoblade was very popular for that. I remember that on the Wii. They would open it because when it's used, they can set the price whatever they want, whereas MSRP technically has a ceiling. So people started to realize, wow, this looks brand new, but it's open and it's marked as used. And it turned out that some places were opening Xenoblade.
Yep, that's exactly how I got my copy, to be honest, back in, what was it, 2012?
It's like $75 used there, and it's supposed to be a $50 game.
I bought it. It was like $67. I bought the game for back then, and I'm like, I want it.
Yeah,
that's how I wanted to punch him, but hey.
Yum says, I still don't like digital games. My internet is fast, but I have a cap. How much is my data consumption every month? Even streaming and watching YouTube.
Data caps are going to screw people for this.
Some of it, I mean, really, with some of the file sizes we're seeing, Call of Duty is like 300 gigabytes and everything now. So
got to go to the, you got to go somewhere else if you got go to the copy shop.
Yeah. Take that, Starbucks.
Yeah.
Tifa says, I got 11 digital, 5 physical Switch games, including Mario 3D All-Star. Still in its wrapping. Still, even though I bought it digitally. Let's see. Zoob says Elon Musk has no life, cheats in video games. Thanks, Zoob.
Or hires people out. He hires people out to play games and then says he's amazing at it. That's good.
Imagine outsourcing your gameplay. Like, that's so wild.
Only to go live with it and show everyone you're bad at it.
Yeah.
After telling everyone you're good with it.
Did you see the screenshots from that? And like, he couldn't figure out how to close the chat. So he was just looking at everyone. It was incredible. Anyways.
That's awesome.
Lucio says GTA 3 was $50 in 2001, $93 today with inflation. That game was made by 50 people in 1.5 years. If I got to see that inflation calculator on my timeline again, my gosh. Just a picture in the Nickelback wild. Holding up the picture with the inflation calculator.
Look at the graph.
Yeah, look at the graph.
Jason says, should there have been a $350 Switch 2 option with no dock, less storage, etc.? That Switch 2 Lite will happen.
Yeah, that's
they'll probably get $350.
Yeah,
they'll sell you the core system, no controllers or anything. That'll be a good replacement for it.
They do that in Japan. You can actually,
yeah,
you just buy the tablet and just
the core system.
Yeah.
Cyber Taurus says, if Xbox having their showcase right near the launch of Switch 2, what are the chances that we see them announce some games going to Switch at that event? I think it's very likely. So, I'm sure people, PlayStation and Switch 2 people will be tuning in for that. Mark that complete says, now that's what I call Call of Duty Black Ops 7. Yeah. I got he's doing Black Ops 7.
I just got the joke. That's actually hilarious.
Thanks, Mark. Orphan says, any thoughts as to if the Switch 2 is too expensive to hand to a child? And do you think it will affect sales in the long term? I am absolutely not handing the Switch 2 to my kids.
Anything's too expensive to hand to a child.
It is then. Yes, it is. It is. I would not hand that to a kid. Not now.
You'd have to put it in a nice durable case with the screen protector on there.
Even then, the sheer quantity of possible things that can go wrong with it. My little cousin used to use my Switch, and the thing that he broke was the connector between the Joy-Cons and the system, that little like aluminum sheet, like because he kept slamming them back in as hard as he could, and it just peeled all of one up.
Great. We need
to play in dock mode. That's it.
Do you know what we need for Switch? Okay, you remember for Game Boy Color, they had it was like the case that was attached to like a lanyard that you'd wear over your neck and play it. We need that for
the safety strap.
Yeah, and it was in like a silicone case.
We can do it with handcuffs though. Just straight handcuff it to him.
Well, no, it makes sense. I avoided dropping my Game Boy like for so long because of that. Because you just let go and it just hangs on you, and it's like a little. So like a little necklace.
I wasn't watching like Sesame Street when the Game Boy Advance came out. I didn't need a
I mean, the old Game Boy was like Game a brick. Color, that was kind of heavy.
I was still older when the Game Boy Color came out.
I was in elementary school and it was awesome. Okay, thank you very much, OJ. Also, I still have it on my Game Boy. Like I can go get it, and I have the lanyard with the case on it.
You still have it?
Yeah, hold on. Okay, continue talking, guys.
This is where we're going to find out that's not a real thing and that her parents made it for her specifically.
So Celia doesn't wander off playing Game Boy. Wow, look at this. Just wander off to the left.
Zarski says if a $10 to $20 game price increase bothers you, either buying too many games or you shouldn't be spending money on anything other than necessities. I think there's a principal aspect to that as well, Zarski, because that means gaming in general is about to get more expensive across the board.
Yeah, I think it's the principal type of thing that people are upset about.
Yeah, because a lot of it was around $10, right? But it's about the principle of that adding up with everyone doing it and just moving the industry up in terms of price. Up there it is. Yeah,
hey guys.
That's.
Oh my!
I have never seen that accessory before.
I still don't believe it's real. Let me look it up.
Yeah,
interesting. Huh.
Game
That's
Boy.
And I also have one in black. Also showing off my Game Boy.
That's pretty.
The same one that I had then.
The game I have in here while I had silver.
Protective case.
That is awesome. That is so cool.
Is that a backlit Game Boy or is that just like the standard one?
No, this one's standard. Okay. It's just a different case.
Oh, it's cool.
I'm not seeing anything online about this thing being
it's
a
third-party case, but it existed. You could buy it in Toys R Us and at Radio Shack. Remember Radio Shack? But yeah, you could buy those, and it was really cool.
But I remember Radio Shack. It was
the best controlled cars, man. Remote control cars. From
like, are you accusing 10-year-old me of like figuring this out? No,
I'm accusing your parents of being like, she's dropped one too many Game Boys. We need to invent something.
My parents couldn't figure out emails. How would you think they would figure out a case for my Game Boy? They would just like tie it to a string. If
they have their skills, probably like woodworking.
It did take my mom a hot minute to figure out emails. She's like, "Nah,
dude." My mom also
how this thing works. Help me.
My dad's still rocking his AOL account.
All caps is not okay. It was great.
My mom was. It took her 20 years to figure out email.
He just says the $8 price is not justifiable regardless of what they show at Mario Kart World Direct, because remember, Strauss Zelnick sees this, he's going to charge $80 for 2K26, $100 for GTA 6, both with $50 microtransactions. Ubisoft and EA too. Probably yes. You know what, actually, let's go into that now. Mario Kart World, there's a Direct this week. Final topic for tonight. Is there anything they can do that would make this game feel more valuable, feel like it could be $80?
100% stable
earlier today in a video, and it didn't go over so well in the comments, which is weird.
That means it's going to go over well once the game comes out. People, if they do DLC, like if they just drop DLC in there where you get new stuff, then it would absolutely be like that. People are going to buy the game anyway, regardless. I know people are angry, but people are going to buy the game because they're going to get FOMO. This happens all the time. Pokemon Scarlet and Violet happened with that. I'm not buying it. That's the second best selling Pokemon game of all time. Like,
I think that annoys people more though, OJ, is that this is going to sell anyway, Yeah,
it's going to sell anyway. It's going to sell anyway. But what I'm saying is that, like I said, FOMO hits people. They see their friends playing it. It's going to be a really good game. Like, I still don't like 80. Nobody likes that price because obviously the precedent that it sets. But you're going to want to play it. But if they did a ton of content and they also get it to where you get like, different tracks and stuff like that, and they just drop them in there, then people are going to be like, all right, well, I get tracks, I get new cars and racers and stuff. So hopefully it's not paid. I mean, last time it was paid with the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. You got some of it included, but there was like an extra thing that they did because it was so popular. But I'm hoping that they just drop new stuff in there. Maybe there's some paid stuff down the line, but it'd be cool if you just got like regular updates like Splatoon. I think that would be dope.
It'll probably be tied to their NSO thing, like the NSO Plus or whatever.
Even if it was that'd be I would like it to where it's not. But I mean, even if it was, that'd be cool. But I mean, I guess you'd have to have the online, right, to be able to really enjoy Mario Kart anyway, like to enjoy the online stuff. So that'd be the thing that I think that would probably, like, if they just included extra stuff in there, like extra skins and racers, and like where they just drop them in there, like Splatoon, I think that would be like, okay, people would still be pissed, and it'd still maybe not be worth it, but then people would be like, all right, well, you get this, you know?
Yeah, I 110% agree with you adding the DLC to it. Because, like, in my head, if they announced it like that, where it's $80, but we're including what the planned DLC would be for it. Because if you look at, like, you know, previous versions, what the drop off would have been for people who bought the base game and who bought the DLC packs or whatever that they did, that would make sense why it's $80. That will probably not be the case. And they will probably still charge us because, like you said, FOMO. Boo.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, I need something else. If this is going to be an $80 game for Nintendo, setting the new benchmark for games in terms of base pricing. So what I've seen so far is Mario Kart. I need something else. I need something that like takes the whole franchise to the next level. And I would kind of think. I think that has to do with the single player. I think it has to do with the free roam thing because they keep. Bill Trennan mentioned it in an interview. He's like, "Oh, yeah, that free range mode might be something more to it. I don't know. Wait for the direct." It's like, why are you?
I can't wait for the direct. I can't wait for it to not have anything more to it.
Yeah,
like that's my favorite part.
Honestly,
what's going to happen? No,
I agree, Evan. I don't think there's going to be anything. They have the brand strength. They know they can get away with it. They set the price at $80. That's it.
To be clear, this is practically the conversation we have every single Pokemon release too. Like, it's going to be good either way, and it still comes out
need
buggy,
to sell
crashy.
people on $80. They've already sold people that are going to buy it on $80, and the ones like me, I'm going to get the $50 bundle because I don't want to spend $80 on the game. So, you know, I think they've already made it very clear about, you know, what they're doing here. I don't think they need to sell us on an $80 game. I mean, is there going to be DLC? Of course there's going to be DLC, but I don't think it's something they necessarily have to try to sell us on to, you know, justify the price of an $80 purchase.
I think that's probably going to be tied to a subscription service because it's easier to point out that over time you're going to make more off of a subscription service people continue to pay just to get the DLC than you would if you did a single package DLC.
Yeah,
that's how it was. $15 DLC, or you're going to pay $20 a year for 5 years for the DLC.
Yeah,
what's your goal?
That's how it was with 8. You got all the stuff if you have the expansion pass. You got all the stuff with 8, and a lot of people did that obviously with it overall. So yeah, I don't know what they'll probably announce some more like different type of tracks and different characters and things like at this direct. That's probably what they're going to announce is like, hey, look, now you can play as this and this, and you know some of the stuff that they put in the game they didn't really show too much, but it's got like jet ski parts now. You know, before in the past you just went right underneath water, you know, but now it's actually got like water physics and it's like wave race type of stuff. So I mean, I think maybe they can show more of that for
turn it into a Souls-like.
That'd be interesting. I want to see like hide and seek. You got a hide and seek game mode in the free roam. There you go. Give me some.
Well, the thing is, they show you the whole map. Like they zoom out, and it's all there to where you drive between them without interruption if you want for the next race. I kind of wonder if they have this set up because they zoom out. Their character images all around as well. I kind of wonder if they have it set up as like a little open world thing for free roam, but there's missions and other aspects to it where it is sort of this, I don't say a live experience because they have multiplayer kind of mixed in as well where your friends can drive around too. I feel like there's almost like a mission objective thing tied in to be almost like a single player kind of adventure.
So it's a single giant map.
Yeah.
And power-ups, a bunch of people can play it. Mario Kart Battle Royale. That's the multiplayer battle game. Like you go down, you have to find the boxes, use them to try to knock people out.
They have that knockout thing in there. It's not quite the same, but it's kind of like that.
But it would be that just with a map where you just get dropped in and then it reduces its size over time.
I think you have like a big open world single player style game. You have 100 some odd characters over time, and it's just a ton of content. But I don't know if even that's going to be enough to be like, oh, obviously this should be an $80 game. MVG, you might be right. It might just be brand strength. That's all it is.
Yep.
That's all it is. Unless the direct shows up and shows something crazy.
I don't think there's anything that people that want to get it will get it. People that don't will not. I mean, I think that's what it's at this point.
It's easy because of that bundle for people. You know, it's like, oh, well, okay, I'll just spend the $50 on it then.
But
like
someone
MVG
who likes Mario Kart,
$80.
They're not going to be like, $10 is going to like stop me from getting it. You know, just like $10 didn't stop people from getting when we went up from 60 to 70. If you like the franchise, if you like that, it didn't stop you from going to the next thing. And I don't know if they even justified the $10, right? Did they ever say, this is the reason why? Like with Ratchet and Clank, because of the SSD, or with Returnal, what was the justification for it, right? There was none. That's what they wanted to charge. That's what they charged. And there was never any justification why I paid $10 more for Returnal, but I did because I wanted to play it,
I think the quote that they said for that from their like PR rep or whatever is that you will buy it and you will like it. That's a joke. Like,
I did like Returnal. But I thought Ratchet and Clank was, but I actually never bought. I waited till Stellar Blade came out to buy another $70 game, like from Sony at least, before I spent another $70.
Here's the other thing with Mario Kart World. We didn't get a Mario Kart for the Switch. We went the entire cycle and didn't get a new one. We were still playing the Wii U one. So there's also that sense of it's been more than 10 years since Mario Kart came out way back in the day. I mean, I feel like you show up with something more than just like the standard traditional Mario Kart again. So that's what I'm looking for at the Direct. I'm looking for something new. Something fresh, something different for the franchise.
So you're going to make the video like, oh, we didn't get anything. So you're going to start complaining about it? Because nothing's going to happen.
Already ready. There.
It's the angry face. Mario Kart in the background. They didn't do it.
As a
MVG giving away the end of the story. My gosh.
I've been playing Mario Kart for a long time. And for me personally, having open world and having 24 racers and all that is definitely a big jump. And having the actual physics with water and not just going to, and like it being open world, that's such a different type of game for me, at least. I know maybe for other people it's not, but that's a huge change from Mario Kart.
It's always had guns. It just fires shell bullets.
That's it. I'm spoiling blueprints now.
You can do like wall rides now. Like you can do like grinds. Like these are all the things that like was not in the previous game. So the fact that you can do all this stuff is kind of, it's like I said, it's very different. And I just want to get away from Mario Kart 8. To be honest, just get me away from that game. I've been playing it for 11 years. I'm so over that.
You're gonna play this one for 11 years. You're gonna like it.
Well, I'll like it for 6 years, damn it, because that's about how much I like Mario Kart 8 for about 5 to 6 years, and I was like, get me something new.
We'll see this week on the 17th what they have for us in Mario Kart World. Raul says, "Where TF is my favorite Nintendo YouTuber RGT85." Said he was nauseous. He might have watched the next play. I might have done it. Mecha says, "Super hype for Persona 6, P5R, Nier Automata were my PS4 favorites. Would also love a new Yoko Taro game." Did that one. TJ says, "Fun fact, I actually beat Path of Radiance on my GameCube, and by the time I got to the final battle, only Ike was left standing." Okay, I had to make sure. I was already up on screen. I was like, hold on a minute. Let me read the rest of this report. They said final battle. I was like, oh gosh. Matt says, "Nintendo has often presented itself as a family-friendly light organization. Will the public forgive them if their business practices become too dark?" I don't know what that means.
The company that supposedly had brothels in the early stage of its existence.
Well,
is that what we're talking about?
They sold gambling cards too, just to throw that out there.
Yeah. Just because you don't look for the darkness doesn't mean it's not there.
Fransby gifted 20 Spawn Wave membership. Shout out to Fransby. Might be Todd Howard. We're not sure. Coming through. Give him a shout out in the chat if you got one of the gifted memberships. And Fransby again says, "MVG, I beg you, Toy Story 2 on the Carbon Engine. Get Disney on the phone."
See what we can do, Fransby.
MVG's got the direct line. Don't worry. Spyro Jones says, "MVG, will Sly Cooper 5 be on the Carbon Engine?"
Spyro, probably not.
Psychopie says, "Wow, OJ Player Essence seems like a cool, funny guy. I can't wait to watch OJ Player Essence. Thank you for introducing me to OJ Player Essence. So cool."
Shout out Psychopie. By the way, he dresses up in outfits like Princess Peach Princess Daisy outfits. I just want to let everyone know that Psychopie dresses up in Princess Daisy outfits.
That's rad.
Michael says, "Going to announce pre-orders with Alarmo."
Oh God,
that'd get people buying them. Claw says, "I'd be more sympathetic to the argument that games are cheap when you account for inflation. If our wages also rose with inflation, they haven't." That is
110%.
I agree.
Kevin says, I've been going to GameStop hoping to get cheap Switch games, but no, they do not lose their value. However, I got 10 Xbox One games for 40 bones. Yeah, Hey.
Do you guys miss going to GameStop and just buying a random game for like $10 or whatever, like back in the day?
No, the grocery store. That's where it was top tier because it was always $10. You had no clue what you were getting.
I get what you're saying, Silly, where you'd walk in, you would see the used shelf in front of you, and you're just like, let's see what we have. And just
because like I remember paying, I think it was like $14 for Sword of Mana for the Game Boy Advance. And like that was so cool. I would just pick a random game off the shelf and I'm like, this is mine now. And it was incredible. And then, things got more expensive. But I feel like that's just my complaint in general with like games, like retro bunting and all
like
that.
If I go to GameStop now and I look at the used wall, I realize I have all this other stuff that I'm playing, and I'm like, I don't know if I really need to buy something else right now. It's just there's a lot of options. Quest says The Legend of Zelda Wind Waker on Switch 2 NSO is inferior, no tingle tuner. I don't see Nintendo implementing GBA support on the GameCube. I'd like to see that just to see like the weird games they can come up with there. Aqua says joining late, so I don't know if this has been said yet, but even though I agree 80 is too much, I think 70 plus tons of microtransactions like COD and 2K is worse.
If you think the 80 is not going to have microtransactions eventually, I don't know.
Good Kiz says, nice name change, MVG. GameCube's still better. Super Christian World says, watch the same grifters complaining about Mario Kart World being 80, but GTA 6 for $100 plus. The hypocrisy, like the force, is strong in these ones. That GTA 6 conversation is going to be crazy.
We already know that's going to be the case.
It's going to be crazy.
Value is subjective. That's like I said this in the street. It's subjective. People are going to buy what they want.
Juiceman Vaughn says everyone on that panel except Evan is copying Mario Kart World. Evan's the safe one, yeah.
Correction, I will try to win it.
Silly always wins all her stuff, yeah.
I mean, I do.
Yo Peeps says, at this point, just give me the box cartridge with a mini SD slot. I'll buy the SD card. Just keep some type of physical. Well, Kamutan says, did you guys watch the long cinematic trailer for Marathon? I loved it, and it was done by the guy who did Love, Death, Robots. Yes, the cinematic trailer was good. The cinematic trailer they showed was good. But also, what was really good, too, was the secret level episode, which is basically a cinematic trailer for Concord. So there you go. A lot of comparisons to Concord.
That's why Concord was trending on friggin' Twitter X for a while. I was like, what the hell is... Oh.
Small Wave, you do great work. Thank you. Great convo, everyone. Thank you, Ditto. Appreciate it. Let me go around here as we finish up. Oh, and then JC 2013, member for 2 months. Shout out to JC 2013. MVG, where can everyone find you, sir? What did you do today, too? You did a video.
Did a video today on the Sega Dreamcast with some really cool ports to the system, including Vice City and Wipeout and Doom 64. If you like my content, you can check out my channel, Modern Vintage Gamer, on YouTube. I usually release a video every week on a Monday. Not sure if I'll have one on Monday, but I'll have a video out next week, and probably maybe some more Switch 2 stuff after this Direct as well. But thanks for having me on.
Yeah, you guys will check it out. Wipeout, taken care of by that Dreamcast. No sweat. 100 some odd frames on that thing, wasn't it?
It's ridiculous how good it's running. Ridiculous.
Crazy. Celia, where can everyone find you?
You can find me on Twitter/X. I'm at Celia B with 3 E's. You can also find me on Game and Talk. I do a Nintendo Focus podcast with Josie, Nate the Hate, and RGT85.
What about OJ? Sir, where can everyone find you?
Yeah, you can find me right here on YouTube, Player Essence. Got some cool videos that I did for this week talking about Nintendo Switch 2 and RPGs. I'm going to be covering the Claire Obscure Expedition 33 game. That game is looking to be incredible. And I also run the Spawncast pre-show as well. So if you want to stop by pre-show, I'll have a big Mario Kart World reaction, like live stream. So if you guys want to hang out for that as well. And thanks for having me on. I really do appreciate it.
What about Evan?
For the few out there that are interested, I do have a tabletop channel, and we do hobby strategy work. We talk about upcoming things and releases. I got a video I'm working on. This is where I use terminology where like 2 people will know it. There's a new faction got released. They have a really big leader, and I run down a bunch of stat interactions he has with a lot of enemy types involving tons of dice rolling, and just talking about the way he's going to work on the table going forward for when they actually fully release this Saturday. So that'll be fun.
Coming up on 10K subs over there, aren't you?
Mm-hmm.
Not too far off. Was it a couple hundred away?
Something like that? It's like 6 or 8 or something.
Hey, people go check him out. He's down in the description with all the other really cool people are on the panel. Go check him out. Get Evan to 10,000 subs. And I do want to also recognize Starman. This is over on Streamlabs. Came in before the show, but they asked, what do you guys think of the new leads for the Switch 2? The producer, the hardware director, the technical director, everyone that was shown also interviews. Isn't that what people wanted? New blood leading the way for Nintendo. Some of them do have resumes going back like 10, 15 years. But yeah, I think it was interesting. They put a spotlight on some of the people behind the scenes, brought them up, put them in the direct, and you kind of got to know them a bit throughout the direct. So I think that was kind of cool, considering we may see them just going forward. Like we didn't necessarily have like Shinya Takahashi there right away and some of the others. So I thought it was kind of cool to see them there, just to kind of get to know them now. They did good too. Their presentation, everything was good for that. So I think that's everything here. Let me make sure. Yep. All right. Thanks everyone for joining us. The Spawncast. We'll be back next Saturday night, 9 p.m. Eastern time. And we'll see you guys then.
Goodbye.